Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to the marathon session for the phase 1 paper 2 of your PFRDA Grade A examination. So I hope you are ready for your PFRDA Grade A phase 1 examination that is on 6th of September, that is very near, and for you all the EduTap has brought for you the marathon sessions, okay, so that you can become exam ready and you can revise in a very good manner with the multiple MCQs that we are going to bring in these sessions. So this is the marathon session for your phase 1 paper 2 where we are going to discuss the MCQs, 100 MCQs from the economics, costing and accounts subjects, okay, and this is the schedule for your marathon starting with on 2nd of August. As you can see that the marathon will happen from 3rd to 6th p.m., 3 to 6 p.m. and the MCQs will be from economics, costing and accounts, okay. Then tomorrow you will have the marathon session from 6 to 6 p.m. for your finance, management, companies and act and pension for your other subjects of your paper 2, phase 1 paper 2. Then we have also brought for you the paper 1 like GA marathon for the paper 1, okay. For June, July and August the GA marathon will be there and this will be on 4th August 3 to 6 p.m. okay. So I hope you are very much excited for the marathon sessions that we are going to take, and here you can see that paper 2 subjects are being covered as well as for your paper 1 as you all were requesting for the GA marathon. So we have also brought for you the GA marathon that is going to provide you the multiple 100 questions will be there for your general awareness, okay. So there will be 100 MCQs for your general awareness practice, for general awareness revision from June, July and August. So this is the idea. Give me a thumbs up if I'm clearly audible and visible and everything is fine, and I hope you are excited for today's marathon. And let's start with the first question without any delay. So starting with the first question, for a given good, the demand curve is. So what is the shape of the demand curve? That you have to tell me here. So it is vertical, it is horizontal, it is non-existing, upward sloping or downward sloping. What is the shape of the demand curve in the given good? So I hope you know that usually the demand curve is downward sloping because here we have the price, here we have the demand, okay. So as the price decreases, the demand for the good increases. So the demand curve is downward sloping for the normal goods, even for the inferior goods. But in the case of given good, the demand curve is upward sloping. Yes, very good. So here the demand curve is upward sloping. For the given good, the demand curve is upward sloping because the given good breaks the law of demand, okay. So usually the demand curve is downward sloping because of the law of demand. When the price of any product increases, when the price of the product is increasing, the demand falls, or when the price is decreasing, the demand increases, okay. So law of demand says that the demand curve is downward sloping, but for the given goods the demand curve is upward sloping because the given goods, they break the law of demand. I hope this is clear. So here the answer, first, for the first question the answer is D. For the given good, the demand curve is upward sloping. Coming to the next question, which of the following will cause a rightward shift in the demand curve of X commodity? So if you have a demand curve for the normal good, for the X commodity, this is the demand curve. So law of demand states that there is inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. So there is inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. When the price is increasing, demand is decreasing. When the price is decreasing, demand is increasing, okay. So there is downward sloping demand curve. Now here it is said that what will cause the rightward shift in the demand curve? Increase in price of the commodity. Increase in price of the commodity is leading to the movement in the demand curve, not shift. Increase in price of complementary goods. Let's say that we are talking about the demand for cars. So if the price of petrol is increasing, the demand for car is going to decrease. So demand at the same price of the cars, the demand for cars will decrease. The demand for cars will decrease. So that will cause the leftward movement in demand curve. That will cause the leftward movement in leftward shift in demand curve, not rightward, okay. Decrease in income will cause leftward shift in demand curve again, because if the income is decreasing, demand for cars will decrease. Taste shift to lesser popularity for the cars. So let's say we are not very willing to have the cars. So again, the demand curve for the cars will shift leftward. Increase in price of substitute goods. Let's say we are talking about the demand for Pepsi. So if the price of Coke is increasing, at the same price for Pepsi, the demand for Pepsi will increase. So here the right answer is E, the increase in price of substitute goods. If the price of Coke is increasing, the demand for Pepsi is going to increase, and that's why there is going to be the rightward shift. So increase in price of the substitute good. Okay. So I hope this is very much clear. That is, when the price of substitute good is rising at the same price, let's say here we have the price of Pepsi and the demand for Pepsi. If the price of Coke is increasing, with the increasing price for Coke, with the same price of Pepsi, increasing price of Coke, so you will demand more Pepsi because Pepsi is a cheaper alternative. So the demand curve will shift rightwards. So demand curve has this equation, that is the demand curve. This is your intercept, this is your slope. The slope is negative for the demand curve. For the demand curve, the slope is negative. Okay, and the demand depends upon the price, and the price causes the movement in the demand curve. The shift is caused by various other factors. Here you can see, if the taste shift to greater popularity, then there is a rightward shift. Population increases, then there is a rightward shift. Income increases, then there is a rightward shift. Price of complement fall. If the price of petrol is falling, the demand for car will increase, then there is a rightward shift. When the price of Coke is increasing, the demand for Pepsi increases, then there is a rightward shift. Okay, so remember that what causes the rightward or leftward shift in demand curve. Coming to the next question, price of a product falls by 10% and its demand rises by 30%. So price is falling by 10%, demand is rising by 30%. Now the demand is of what nature? What is the nature of demand here? What is the nature of the demand? Is it elastic? Is it inelastic? Perfectly inelastic, unitary elastic? What is the nature of the demand curve here? So if the price is decreasing slightly and the demand is increasing by a lot, so that means there is a elastic demand curve. Very good. The demand is elastic in nature with a slight decrease in price. With a slight decrease in price, there is a huge increase in demand. So this is elastic demand. Very good. So here the right answer is A. Here the right answer is A. That is the idea. Okay. So here you can see elastic demand curve means that with the decrease in the price, the demand is increasing by a greater proportion. The demand is increasing by a greater proportion. So that is the idea, that price is decreasing and the demand is increasing by a greater proportion. That is elastic demand. Okay. Let's say if the price is changing, with the change in price, with the decrease in price, there is no change in demand. That is inelastic demand. Okay. With the change in price, there is no change, zero change in demand. So that is inelastic, perfectly inelastic demand. Okay. Then there is elastic demand. So this is for the supply also. In the case of supply also, the same is true. So basically there is perfectly inelastic demand, that is with the change in price. With the change in price, there is no change in demand. With the change in price, there is zero change in demand, no change in demand. Then there is elastic demand curve. With the change in price, there is huge change in demand. With the change in price, there is huge change in demand. With the decrease in price by 10%, demand is increasing by 30%. So that is elastic demand. Next is inelastic demand. Inelastic demand means that with the change in price, the demand is changing very slightly. With the change in price, let's say price is changing by 50%, demand is only changing by 5% or 10%. So demand is changing by slightly only. With a huge change in price, demand is changing slightly. So that is inelastic demand. Perfectly elastic demand means with a minor change in price, there is infinite change in demand. So when the demand is changing by infinitely, so that is perfectly elastic demand. When the demand is changing by infinitely. Okay. Unitary elastic demand, that is the change in price is equal to the change in demand. The price is changing by the same percentage as the demand. So that is unitary elastic demand. Okay. So I hope now you know about all the types of demand. Perfectly inelastic demand, when the demand is not changing at all. Elastic demand, when the demand is changing by greater proportion, by a greater percentage. Inelastic demand, when the demand is changing by lesser percentage. Perfectly elastic demand, when the demand is changing by infinitely. And unitary elastic demand means demand is changing by the same percentage as the price. Okay. In the context of the supply also, the same things are there perfectly. Inelastic supply means supply do not change at all with the change in price. Okay, perfectly inelastic supply. Supply do not change much with the supply is not changing at all. Inelastic supply means supply is not changing by much with the change in price. With the change in price, supply is not changing by much. So with the change in price, supply changes very slightly only. So this is in case of supply, but major criteria is for demand that you have to remember. Next question is, of the following, demand is likely to be the most elastic for. So demand is most elastic or demand is very elastic for what? For what? For the goods with many substitutes, necessary goods and luxury goods. Out of these three, the demand is likely to be most elastic for luxury goods as well as goods with many substitutes. So the goods that have many substitutes, that have elastic demand, as well as the luxury goods also has elastic demand. Okay, so first and third are correct, and that's why the C is the right answer here. Yes, very good, Chetan. C is the right answer here. So the elastic demand is more likely to apply to luxury as well as non-essentials, usually durable goods, and the goods that have many substitutes. So the luxury goods, non-durable luxury goods, non-essential goods, that are the durable goods that have many substitutes. So the goods that have many substitutes, they have elastic demand. Okay, so elastic demand is for the goods that are the luxury goods or that are the non-essential goods, that are usually the durable goods, as well as the goods with many substitutes. They have elastic demand. They have elastic demand. Necessary goods, they have inelastic demand, and life-saving goods, they have perfectly inelastic demand. Now coming to the next question, that which of the following statements is correct in regards to the cross elasticity of demand? Cross elasticity of demand means where we are talking about two goods like the eyeglasses and the contact lenses. First of all, eyeglasses and contact lenses, they are substitute goods. We can either wear contact lenses or we will wear eyeglasses, let's say. Okay, so they are substitute goods. So in these two goods, what is the cross elasticity of demand? Is it positive or is it negative or is it zero? So eyeglasses and contact lenses, they have positive cross elasticity of demand. Why is it so? Because they are substitute goods, and remember, the substitute goods, they have positive cross elasticity of demand. That means when the price of the contact lenses is increasing, if the price of contact lenses is increasing, you will demand more eyeglasses. The demand for eyeglasses is going to increase. Petrol and cars, they are complementary goods. They are used together, so they are complementary goods. Complementary goods have a negative cross elasticity of demand. This is correct. If the price for petrol is increasing, the demand for cars will decrease. If the petrol prices are very high, the demand for cars will start decreasing. So they have negative cross elasticity of demand, because when the price of petrol is increasing, the demand for cars will decrease. Okay, badminton and car, they have positive cross elasticity of demand. Badminton and car, are they related to each other? No, they are not related to each other. So they have zero cross elasticity of demand. They are not related to each other. Okay, so they do not have the cross elasticity of demand, or their cross elasticity of demand is zero. So first and second are correct statements, and that's why the right answer here is A. Yes, very good everyone. So A is the right answer. You have positive cross elasticity of demand in case of substitute goods, negative cross elasticity of demand in case of complementary goods, and zero cross elasticity of demand in case of unrelated goods like badminton and car. Okay, next question is, if the income and demand for a good X has negative relation, that means with the increase in income, the demand of the good is decreasing. What kind of good this is? Okay, and with the increase in price, the demand of the good is decreasing. So what kind of good is this? The good has a negative relation with income, and the good also has a negative relation with price. So this is normal good, Giffen good, substitute good, inferior good, or complementary good. So normal good, in the normal good, when the income increases, the demand also increases for the normal good, because when you have more income, you will demand more normal goods. So this condition is not being fulfilled. That means normal good does not have a negative relationship with income. Okay, they do not have a negative relationship with income. Only the inferior goods, the inferior goods are the ones that have a negative relationship with income. So here the right answer is inferior. In the given good, try to understand that the price and demand for the given good, they do not have inverse relationship. When the price of given good is increasing, the demand for given good also increase. They have a upward sloping demand curve, right? So the second condition, read the second condition very carefully. Read the second condition very carefully. If the income and demand for a good has negative relation and the price and demand of the good has a negative relation, the price and demand of the good, the price and demand of the good, in the given good case, they have a positive relation. They have a positive relation. They have a upward sloping demand curve. They have a positive relation. Okay? Got it? So, inferior goods are the ones that have, so basically, let me tell you the criteria. In the normal goods, they have positive relationship between income and demand. When the income is increasing, demand is also increasing. In the case of price and demand, they have negative relationship. When the price is increasing, demand is decreasing. In the case of inferior goods, they have negative relationship in case of income. Income is increasing, demand is decreasing. Income is increasing, demand for inferior good is decreasing. In case of price, they have a negative relation. When the price is increasing, demand is decreasing. In case of given good, they have a negative relationship in case of income. When the income is increasing, demand is decreasing, but they have positive relationship with price. When the price is increasing, demand is increasing for the given good. Okay, so given good has a negative relationship with income but positive relationship with price. Here, inferior good have a negative relationship with income and negative relationship with price. So negative relationship with income and negative relationship with price, that is inferior good. So the answer here is inferior good. Okay. So this is the idea. Basically, the normal goods has a positive relationship with income but negative relationship with price. While in case of inferior good, they have a negative relationship with income and negative relationship with price. So remember this. Okay, this chart, remember this. So this is the basic idea that inferior goods, they have negative relationship with income. They have negative relationship with income. That means when your income is increasing, the demand for inferior good will decrease. When the income is increasing, demand for inferior good decrease. Coming to the next question. As per the characteristic of the perfect competition, which of the following statements is incorrect that you have to tell me? So the products of the firm are perfect substitutes? Yes or no? In the perfect competition, there are large number of sellers that are producing homogeneous product. So homogeneous product means same product. So if they are selling same product, so that means the products of the firm are perfect substitutes of each other, because they are producing and selling homogeneous product that are perfect substitutes. Okay. An individual firm is a price maker. An individual firm, is it a price maker? No, the individual firm is a price taker. So the second statement is wrong. So the right answer will be B, because the second statement is wrong. The individual firms, they are price takers. They are not price makers. Okay. Firms, the demand curve is infinitely elastic. So yes, in the perfect competition, the firm's demand curve is perfectly elastic and they can sell how much ever they want to sell. So there is perfectly elastic demand curve. Okay. In this market, consumers have full or perfect knowledge, correct. There is no barriers of entry or exit, correct. So you have to remember the characteristics of the perfect competition. Homogeneous product, which are perfect substitutes of each other. The firms, they are price takers. There is perfect knowledge with the sellers and the buyers, and there is no barriers to entry and exit. Okay. So this is the idea. So this is the feature for the different competitions that you can read. Now coming to the next question, that which of the following market structures have only inelastic demand curve? So which of the market structure has only inelastic demand curve? Try to answer this question. Perfect competition has perfectly elastic demand curve. So perfect competition has perfectly elastic demand curve. Monopolistic competition has elastic demand curve. The monopoly has inelastic demand curve. Oligopoly has elastic as well as inelastic demand curve. Duopoly, that is a part of oligopoly, also has elastic as well as inelastic demand curve. So which of the following market structure has only inelastic demand curve? So it is monopoly that has only inelastic demand curve. Okay. So yes, C is the right answer here. Monopoly has inelastic demand curve. So you can see that monopoly has inelastic demand curve. Average revenue curve is the demand curve. So here with the increase with the price, with the increase of the price, the demand is not changing much. With the change in the price, if the price is changing by a lot, demand is changing very slightly only. Okay. So that is inelastic demand curve. That is present in the monopoly. With the change in price, demand do not change much. Now coming to the next question, a firm can be in equilibrium in perfect competition and have supernormal profits when which of the following condition is being met? Equilibrium in perfect competition, where the marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost and the marginal cost cut the MR from below, right? So these are the conditions for the equilibrium in the perfect competition. So a firm can be in equilibrium in the perfect competition when these conditions are being met. Now, when does the firm has supernormal profits? When the average revenue, that is the per unit revenue, is higher than the average cost, that is the per unit cost. So supernormal profits are when the average revenue is greater than average cost. Yes, this is the condition. Okay, when the average revenue is greater than average cost. So basically in the short run, the loss is when the average cost is more than the average revenue, that is per unit cost is more than per unit revenue. Normal profit is when the per unit cost is equal to per unit revenue. So that is normal profit. Abnormal profit or supernormal profit is when the average revenue is more than average cost. So this is the condition that you have to remember for the loss, normal profit, abnormal profit. This is the condition for equilibrium and this is the condition for loss, normal profit or supernormal profit. In the long run in perfect competition, there is only normal profits that is earned at the minimum of average cost. In the perfect competition, in the long run, only the normal profits can be earned at the minimum of average cost. Okay. Now coming to the next question, read the statement very carefully and try to answer this question. In which of the following market model, the duopolist decides about the price and assumes the rivals will keep their price constant with the unlimited production capacity and the firms have equilibrium price at the competitive price. So basically, here it is said that the rivals, they are thinking that, okay, I can change my price and the other firm is going to keep its price constant. And there is unlimited production capacity. So this is Bertrand oligopoly model. In the Bertrand oligopoly model, this is the condition. In the Cournot oligopoly model, I think that I can change my output and the other firm will keep its output constant. In the Bertrand oligopoly model, I can change my price and the other firm will keep its price constant. Okay. In the Edgeworth oligopoly model also, I will think that I can change my price, other firm will keep its price constant, but I have limited production capacity. Limited production capacity is there, as well as there is disequilibrium. And the price keeps oscillating between the competitive price, and the monopoly price, Okay, so that is Edgeworth. So Chamberlain is the one that has said that if the firms recognize that they have interdependence, they can reach to the maximum profits, joint maximum profit. Okay, Stackelberg has also assumed the Cournot assumption, but here we have a leader that knows that the other firm is taking the Cournot assumption. So I have given you the small points that you can read for each of the model. Okay, basically Cournot, I can change my output, the other firm is going to keep its output constant. Bertrand says that I can change my price, other firm is going to keep its price constant, and I have unlimited production capacity, the other firm also has unlimited production capacity. The equilibrium price will be competitive price. The Edgeworth has said that I can change my price, other firm will keep its price constant, and there is perpetual disequilibrium because there is limited production capacity. Okay. Now before moving forward to the next question, there is a massive information and a very big surprise for all of you, that there is a massive price drop that is going on and it is valid till tomorrow, that is 3rd September only. And here you can see that the flat 74% off that is going on. You can use the code September 74. Now this flat 74% off, it is for all the regulatory body examination courses for the RBI Grade B, IFSCA Grade A, for IRDI Grade A, NABARD Grade A, SEBI Grade A, as the RBI Grade A notification is just out. So you can understand that many of you might be willing to prepare for the RBI Grade B, or you might be thinking of preparing for RBI Grade B, or your friend might be thinking of preparing for RBI Grade B or NABARD Grade A. So this is a very big offer for all of you, that there is a massive price drop if you are thinking of taking the courses, or if you are thinking of taking the systematic material from EduTap. So this is the best time to take the massive offer where you are getting the flat 74% off. Okay, so this is a very big opportunity for all of you who are thinking of taking the combo courses, or who are thinking of taking the individual courses for the regulatory body examination. Okay, so here we have the flat 74% off, and this is valid till tomorrow. If you or your friend want to have any course for the examination, you want to have the systematic material, so you can see the courses and you can see the price offer. Okay, now coming to the next question, that is your 11th question. So P. Sweezy has published an article where he has talked about the demand curve for the oligopoly model. Now the upper section of the Kinked demand curve, in the Kinked demand curve, the upper section of the demand curve has what kind of elasticity, and the lower section of the demand curve has what kind of elasticity, that you have to tell me. So what is the elasticity for the upper section and for the lower section? The upper section of the demand curve has elastic nature, and the lower part of the demand curve has inelastic nature. Okay, so the Kinked demand curve, the upper section of the Kinked demand curve is elastic, and the lower section of the Kinked demand curve is inelastic. So I hope you have given the right answer here. So the right answer is E. The upper part of the demand curve is elastic, the lower part of the demand curve is inelastic. Okay, so this is the idea. Now Chamberlain, Sweezy, you can read about the different models. Okay, now coming to the next question, which of the national income concept can be calculated from GDP at MP? So you have been given GDP at MP, and the question is saying that deduct the net indirect taxes. That means deduct the indirect taxes and add the subsidies, and adding the net factor income from abroad. Adding the net factor income from abroad, what you are going to get. So deduct the indirect taxes, add the subsidies, the market price will convert into factor cost. Deduct the indirect taxes and add the subsidies, so market price will convert into factor cost. The product is same. Now add the net factor income from abroad, so domestic will convert into national. So gross will remain gross because there is no other part of the equation. So the answer will be D. That is your GNP at FC. So the answer is GNP at FC. Now coming to the next question, which of the following will be added to calculate NDP at FC? So if you have to calculate NDP at FC, what do you have to add? So NDP at FC can be calculated through the income method, where you have to add the compensation of employees plus rent plus profit plus interest plus mixed income. Now, if you remember that the rent, profit and interest, it is also called operating surplus. The rent, profit and interest, this is combined. As combined, it is called operating surplus. Okay. So compensation of employees plus operating surplus plus mixed income. So we can write the formula for NDP at FC as compensation of employees, mixed income and operating surplus. So 1, 6 and 7. So the answer is D here. Okay. So remember that income method has the formula compensation of employees plus rent plus interest plus profit, that is combined as operating surplus. Profit is further divided into 3 parts, that is corporate profit tax, dividend and undistributed profits. Okay. So this is the formula for the income method. You have the method for the expenditure also. There is expenditure method where all the expenditure is added to calculate GDP at MP. Then you have the value added method where you are taking the gross value added, that is nothing else GDP at MP, where we have value of output minus intermediate consumption. Okay. Coming to the next question, if the consumption equation is this, now what will be the marginal propensity to save and autonomous saving? So B, I hope you know that B is marginal propensity to consume. Now MPC plus MPS is equal to 1. So if we write for the MPS, if we want to calculate the MPS, we can write 1 minus MPC. So we can write 1 minus P. MPC is your B, P is MPC. Okay. So 1 minus B is MPS. 1 minus B or 1 minus MPC is MPS. So MPS is 1 minus B. Now autonomous saving. Autonomous consumption is A. Autonomous consumption is A. So autonomous saving is minus A, negative A. Autonomous saving is the negative of autonomous consumption. So the answer will be 1 minus B, that is your marginal propensity to save, and your autonomous saving is minus A. Okay, so this is the idea. Here the right answer is E. Very good. So basically income is equal to consumption plus saving. So saving is equal to income minus consumption. So consumption equation, if we write the consumption equation, we can get to the saving equation, that is minus A plus 1 minus B y. So this is the saving equation. So this is the saving equation, that is minus A. Saving equation is minus A plus 1 minus B y. So consumption equation is A, that is autonomous consumption, plus B, that is marginal propensity to consume, multiplied by income. Okay, saving is autonomous saving. 1 minus B is nothing else, it is 1 minus MPC, that is MPS. So remember, autonomous saving is negative autonomous consumption and your MPS is 1 minus MPC. Okay. Now coming to the next question, that which of the following statement is incorrect regarding the Keynesian average propensity to consume and marginal propensity to consume. So APC plus APS is equal to 1. This is correct, that MPC plus MPS is equal to 1. Similarly, APC plus APS is equal to 1. Okay. APC increases with increase in income. This is wrong. Actually, APC decreases with increase in income. So APC decreases with the increase in income. Okay. MPC is less than APC. This is correct. APC is always greater than the MPC. MPC lies between 0 and 1, correct. APC can be more than 1. That is also correct. So only the B statement is wrong and you had to tell the incorrect statement. So B statement is wrong. APC decreases when the income is increasing. Okay. So B is incorrect. So APC falls when the income is increasing. Okay. Coming to the next question, classical economists believe that the savings depend upon what? And Keynes believe that the savings is dependent upon what? So classical economists believe that the savings depend upon interest rate, and the Keynes believed that the savings depend upon income. Okay. So this is the idea. As per classical economists, they believe that saving depend upon interest rate, and the Keynes believe that saving is dependent on income. We have seen the equation that saving depends upon income. Saving is a function of income. Saving depends upon income. Okay. So as per Keynes, saving depend upon income. So the answer here is C actually. The answer here is C. So as per Keynes, as per classical, saving and investment depend upon interest rate. As per Keynes, saving depend upon the income. Okay. So remember this, that as per classicals, saving and investment, they both depend upon the interest rate, and the equilibrium between the saving and investment is because of interest rate, while as per Keynes, the saving depend upon the income and the investment depends upon the interest rate and marginal efficiency of capital, but the equilibrium between the saving and investment is brought by the income. This is said by Keynes. This is said by Keynes. Okay. So saving, as per Keynes, saving depends upon the income, and that's why the equilibrium between saving and investment is brought by income. Now coming to the next question, which of the following statements is or are incorrect in context of the accelerator theory? So if you remember the assumptions of the accelerator theory, you will easily be able to answer this question. There is no excess capacity in producing farms units in consumer good industry. Correct. There is no excess capacity in the consumer good industry, but there is excess capacity in the capital good industry. There is elastic credit supply in the economy, that is easily available. Credit supply is present in the economy. Capital output ratio is assumed to be constant. It is not increasing, it is constant. Okay. Accelerator principle explains that the increase in national income often results in the increase in investment. So with the increase in income, there is investment that happens. So that is correct. This is the equation that is given by the accelerator principle. That is, if your income is increasing multiplied by the capital output ratio, your investment will also happen. Investment depends upon increase in income. So accelerator principles explains that the increase in national income will lead to investment in the country, investment spending. So that is correct. So only the D statement is incorrect because the capital output ratio is constant. So capital output ratio is constant, okay? Constant capital output ratio. The other assumptions you can read, and here you can see that with the increase in income, with the increase in output, if you want to increase the output, multiply it with the capital output ratio and you will have to do the investment also. Coming to the next question, in the extreme case of MPC being 0, what would be the size of the multiplier? What would be the size of the multiplier? If the MPC, so basically the formula for multiplier is 1 upon 1 minus MPC, the basic formula for multiplier. So if MPC is 0, so the multiplier will be 1. Okay, so when the MPC, in the extreme case, MPC is 0, the multiplier will be 1. In the extreme case, when the MPC is 1, the multiplier will be infinite. The multiplier will be infinite. Okay, so basically when the MPC is 0, the multiplier will be, so here the right answer is B. So MPC is 1, multiplier will be infinite. MPC is 0, multiplier will be 1. So that is in the extreme cases. Coming to the next question, what would be the change in income when the MPS is 0.4 and the increase in investment is 100? If you know the basic formula of the multiplier, you will be able to answer the question. So investment multiplier is equal to 1 upon 1 minus MPC. 1 minus MPC is MPS. So investment multiplier is 1 upon 0.4. So investment multiplier will be how much? 2.5. So investment multiplier shows it is 2.5. It shows that with the increase in investment, there is increase in income that is happening, right? So increase in investment is, the increase in investment is 100 crores. So it is 100. So 100 multiplied by 2.5 is your 250 crores. So that is the increase in income. Increase in income is 250 crores. The increase in income is 250 crores. Yes. Got it? So here the answer is 250. Increase in income is 250 crores. Basically remember the formula because the formula is important. Investment multiplier shows that with the change in investment, there is change in income. Okay. So investment multiplier is 1 upon 1 minus MPC or 1 upon MPS. That is the formula for investment multiplier. Now coming to the next question, an increase in MPS, if the MPS is increasing, that will result in dash in multiplier. What will happen to multiplier? Now this is the formula for investment multiplier or for the multiplier. So if MPS is increasing, what will happen to the multiplier? What will happen to the multiplier? Multiplier will increase or decrease or will remain constant. The multiplier will decrease. If the MPS, basically if the MPS increases, multiplier will decrease. If the MPC is increasing, multiplier will increase. So MPC and multiplier have a direct relationship. MPS and multiplier have inverse relationship. Okay. So if MPS is increasing, multiplier will decrease. So that is the idea. If the MPS is increasing, multiplier will decrease and vice versa. Now coming to the next question, that given the saving function has been given, autonomous investment has been given, find the equilibrium level of income. Now the equilibrium level of income you have to find, and the equilibrium is when the saving is equal to investment. So you just have to keep the saving equation equal to the investment. So saving is, investment is, and you just have to solve it. That is, this will go here 520, 0.4y. So 0.4 multiplied by y. So 0.4 will go here. So 520 divided by 0.4. So that is 1300. 1300 is the equilibrium level of income. Okay. Now what is MPC? MPC is, now this is in the saving function, this is MPS. This is MPS. So MPC is 1 minus MPS. So 1 minus 0.4. This is MPC. So that is 0.6. 0.6 is the MPC. Okay. So basically saving and investment. So whenever the aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply, that is the equilibrium. So saving is equal to investment, that is the equilibrium. Okay. That is where the equilibrium is. So saving and investment values, you just have to keep them equal. Okay. So aggregate demand is equal to aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply or the income, and this is where the saving is equal to investment. So this is the idea. Coming to the next question, as per the Fisher equation, the price level is directly and proportionately dependent on what? So as per the Fisher equation, the price level depends on what? So Fisher equation, I hope you remember, there was a previous year question from the Fisher equation that money supply multiplied by velocity is equal to price level multiplied by transaction. So it was said that velocity and transaction is constant, it cannot change. So price level can change with the money supply. If the money supply is increasing, price level will increase. If the money supply is decreasing, price level will decrease in the same proportion. So price level is directly and proportionately dependent upon money supply. Okay. So that is the idea. Yes. So here the right answer is C. So this is the right answer. So the Fisher equation is MV is equal to TP. The transactions are considered constant. Velocity is considered constant. So only the money supply can change the price level. So velocity and transactions, they are constant. So with the changes in money supply, price level change. With the change in money supply, the price level change. Okay. So this is the idea. As well as classical has also said about the classical dichotomy, where the classical said that the monetary variables can affect the other monetary or the nominal variables, like the money supply can affect the price level. Okay. So that is classical dichotomy, that only, so basically the real variables can affect the other real variables like labor, land, capital. They can affect the output, employment and such. Monetary variables can affect the other monetary variables like the money supply can affect the price level and such. Monetary variables can never affect the real variables. Monetary variables can never affect the real variables. This is known as classical dichotomy. Monetary variables can affect the other monetary variables or the nominal variables. Real variables can affect the other real variables. Monetary variables cannot affect the real variables. Next is coming to the next question. Which of the following statements the Keynesians did not believe in? So which of the following statement? So basically government interference is needed in the economy. The Keynes believed in this. Involuntary unemployment can persist in the economy. So yes, the Keynes said that unemployment can persist in the economy. They didn't believe in full employment. They said that unemployment happens in the economy. Changes in income bring equality between saving and investment. Yes, with income is the one that brings equality between saving and investment. Correct. Flexibility is present in wage and price. No, in the short run, the wages and prices are rigid in nature, not flexible. So the Keynesians did not believe in flexibility in wage and prices in the short run. Okay. So changes in aggregate demand has effect on the output and employment. This is correct. This was also said by Keynes. The D is the incorrect statement here. Okay. So these are the assumptions given by Keynes and these are the assumptions given by classicals. For your revision, I have brought it here. Okay. Now coming to the next question. In the Keynesian cross, the expansionary fiscal policy will lead to what? So expansionary fiscal policy means the government expenditure is increasing or the taxes are decreasing. So what will happen to the aggregate demand? That is consumption plus investment plus government expenditure. So if the government expenditure is increasing, this is your aggregate supply, this is your aggregate demand. If the government expenditure increases, the aggregate demand will shift upwards. The aggregate demand will shift upwards because government expenditure is increasing, demand will increase and the equilibrium level of income also increases, right? There is increase in income. So that is, yes, B is the right answer here. Okay. So with the increase in government expenditure, the income also increases. Next, what is the formula for foreign trade multiplier? What is the formula for foreign trade multiplier? So for the investment multiplier as well as for the government expenditure multiplier, the formula is 1 upon 1 minus MPC, that is 1 upon MPS. What is the formula for the foreign trade multiplier? The formula is, for the foreign trade multiplier, the formula is 1 upon MPS plus MPM. MPS is marginal propensity to save. MPM is marginal propensity to import. Marginal propensity to import. Okay. So that is the answer. Because foreign trade is happening, so imports are also happening. So marginal propensity to import also comes in the formula. Okay. So yes. So this is the formula for foreign trade multiplier. For the lump sum tax multiplier, the formula is minus MPC divided by 1 minus MPC. That is the tax multiplier. Now coming to the next question, as per classical economist, money is used only as what? While Cambridge economist places emphasis on function of money as what? So as per classical economist, what do we use money for? What do we use money for? We use money as a medium of exchange for our transaction purposes. Medium of exchange. While Cambridge economists said that we use money, the Cambridge economists said that we use money for store of value, or we demand money for the store of value. Okay, so the right answer here is C. Classicals believe that we demand money for medium of exchange. Cambridge said that we demand money for store of value. So this is the idea that Cambridge economists said we demand money for store of value. Classicals or the Fisher said that we demand the money for medium of exchange. Fisher was a classical economist. Okay. Friedman said that we do not demand money for a particular purpose. We can use the money for different reasons. Okay. So that is the idea. So Friedman has not given any particular motive for demanding the money. Next question is, as per Keynes liquidity preference theory, the speculative demand for money is dash related to interest rate and transaction demand for money is positively related to what? What is the relationship here? So as per Keynes liquidity preference theory, the speculative demand for money is inversely related to interest rate. The speculative demand for money is inversely related to the interest rate. If the interest rate is increasing, speculative demand for money will decrease. So there is inverse relationship. Transaction demand for money is positively related to income. So if income is increasing, transaction demand for money will increase. Okay. So the right answer here is C. Yes, very good, Nilesh. The right answer here is C. So that is the idea that speculative demand for money is inversely related to rate of interest and transaction demand for money is positively related to level of income. Okay. Coming to the next question, and the PDF will be provided to you in the Telegram channel of EduTap. The link for the Telegram channel is provided in the description box below. So you do not need to worry about taking the screenshots and such. You can just download the PDF. Now in the money market, the initial effect of an increase in money supply is to do what? If the money supply is increasing, what will happen in the economy? What will be the initial impact in the money market? What will happen? So basically in the money market, we have, this is the demand for money that is inversely related to interest rate. The demand for money has inverse relationship with interest rate, and this is your supply for money. If the supply for money is increasing, the interest rate will decrease. If the money supply is increasing, the interest rate will decrease the level of interest rate. Okay. So basically with the increase in money supply, the interest rate will decrease. Okay. And demand for money is downward sloping with the interest rate. As the level of income in the economy increases, the demand for money will dash and the rate of interest will dash. So as the level of income in the economy increases, now your demand for money, it depends upon the interest rate. It is inversely related to the interest rate. It is downward sloping with the interest rate, and it also depends upon the level of income. So when the level of income, and this is your money supply. So when the level of income is increasing, the demand for money will increase. Level of income is increasing. With more income, you will demand more money. You are demanding more money. The demand for money is increasing. So demand for money will shift upwards. If the demand for money is shifting upwards, the equilibrium rate of interest is also increasing. Before, the demand for money is equal to supply for money. Now the new demand for money is equal to supply for money. So the equilibrium rate of interest has increased. Okay. So see. So C is the right answer. Okay. So this is the answer here. Shift upwards and there is increase in the rate of interest. Now coming to the next question. Which of the following component will come under broad money which is not present in narrow money? What should be the answer here? Which of the following component will come under broad money? Broad money is M3 and narrow money is M1. So broad money is M3 and narrow money is M1. So basically M1 is what? M1 is your currency with public plus demand deposits plus other deposit with the Reserve Bank of India. M3 is your M1 plus time deposit. So what is the difference between the M1 and M3? M1 is your narrow money and M3 is your broad money. So M1 is your narrow money and M3 is your broad money. So the difference between the narrow money and broad money is time deposit. This is the difference, right? So the right answer here is C. Very good, everyone. C is the right answer. So M1, M2, M3, M4, the formulas are very, very important. So do keep them in mind. I have discussed with you M1 and M3. M2 is M1 plus saving deposit with post office saving bank. M4 is M3 plus total deposit with post office saving organization, excluding the contribution made by the public to the national saving certificates. Okay. Now there is also something known as high powered currency. High powered currency is the actual physical currency that is issued by the RBI and the government. So high powered currency is your currency in circulation, bankers deposit with the Reserve Bank of India and the other deposit with the Reserve Bank of India. Okay. So this is the high powered money. High powered money also has the formula currency in currency with public. So currency with public plus total reserves that the banks are holding or RBI is holding plus other deposit with RBI. Okay. So these are the two formulas of high powered money and a question can come directly on the formula also. Okay. And the money multiplier is equal to money supply divided by high powered money, and the money multiplier has the formula 1 plus K plus divided by K plus R. So this is the money multiplier. That has the formula 1 plus K plus R. K is your currency to deposit ratio, K is your currency to deposit ratio, and R is your cash reserve ratio. Now coming to the next question, LM curve shows the positive relation between dash and dash in the goods market. So LM curve shows the positive relation between dash and dash in the goods market. So basically remember that the LM curve, it is upward sloping first of all. So it shows positive relationship between the rate of interest and the level of income. As the level of income increases, the rate of interest also increases, right? So that is the idea. The LM curve shows the positive relationship between income and interest rate. That is the LM curve now. Any confusion, anyone? So this is the idea. This is the LM curve. See, the IS curve, it shows the combination of rate of interest and level of income where the goods market is at equilibrium. Okay. So the rate of interest and the level of income where the goods market is at equilibrium, and the IS curve is downward sloping. Now the LM curve is upward sloping. LM curve is upward sloping and it shows the combination of rate of interest and level of income where the money market is at equilibrium. Where the demand for money is equal to supply for money. Okay. Yes. So this is the idea. Now coming to the next question, try to answer this question. Read the statements very carefully and try to answer the question. So here LM curve will be steeper when there will be what? Smaller income elasticity for demand for money, lower interest elasticity for demand for money, larger income elasticity for demand for money. So LM curve will be steeper when there is larger income elasticity and lower interest elasticity. Okay. So that is the condition. So second and third. Yes, everyone has given the right answer. Very good. So 2 and 3, this is the answer. So this is the idea. Okay. So steeper LM curve, here there is larger income elasticity and lower interest elasticity, and flatter LM curve is when there is smaller income elasticity and higher interest elasticity. Okay. Coming to the next question. Now there is the condition that is given for the IS curve also. For the LM curve, this is the idea that you have to remember. The steeper LM curve, larger income elasticity, lower interest elasticity. For the IS curve, there is for the flat IS curve, first of all, for the flat IS curve, I hope you know that there is high multiplier and high investment elasticity with the rate of interest. Okay. For the steep IS curve, there is lower multiplier and lower investment elasticity with the rate of interest. Now coming to the next question. In the ISLM model, when money supply rises in equilibrium, in the usual case, this is the usual case, there will be what? So basically in the ISLM model, IS is downward sloping, LM is upward sloping. Here we have the rate of interest, here we have the level of income, here we have the equilibrium in the level of income and rate of interest. So basically in the ISLM model, when the money supply rises, money supply is rising. With the increase in money supply, what happens? That this is your money supply, this is your demand for money. If the money supply is increasing, the rate of interest decreases. Okay. Now the rate of interest is decreasing. This is your LM curve. Now at the same level of income, with the increase in money supply, the rate of interest, equilibrium rate of interest is decreasing. So LM curve shift rightward. Okay. So because of the increase in money supply, the LM curve shift rightward. Okay. So this is the idea. This is your money supply. This is your demand for money. If the money supply increases, the rate of interest decreases at the same level of income. So this is the LM curve. This was the rate of interest previously at this level of income. Now at the same level of income, the rate of interest is decreasing. So LM curve will shift rightwards. If the LM curve is shifting rightwards with the increase in money supply, the LM curve shift rightward. So there is decrease in rate of interest and increase in level of income. So there is decrease in rate of interest and increase in level of income. C is the right answer here. Okay. Yes, very good. C is the right answer. So rightward shift in money supply, rightward shift, or there is increase in money supply. So rightward shift in LM curve. So there is rightward shift in LM curve means decrease in interest rate and increase in level of income. Coming to the next question, in the liquidity trap, demand for money is dash, and with respect to rate of interest, an LM curve will be what? So in the liquidity trap, the demand for money, in the liquidity trap, this is the demand for money. So demand for money becomes horizontal in the liquidity trap. Okay. So in the liquidity trap, the demand for money becomes horizontal. That means it is perfectly elastic. It is perfectly elastic with the rate of interest. And the LM curve will be, if the demand for money is horizontal, the LM curve will also be horizontal. That is the idea. Okay. So right answer here, yes, correct. Nilesh, very good. So perfectly elastic and horizontal. So demand for money is perfectly elastic and the LM curve is horizontal. So that is the idea. Here you can see demand for money is in the liquidity trap. It is perfectly elastic with the rate of interest and the LM curve is horizontal. When the LM curve is horizontal, the fiscal policy is very much effective and the monetary policy is ineffective. This is something you can remember. Okay. Now coming to the next question, read the question carefully. If the Phillips curve is vertical in the long run, this is the Phillips curve that is vertical in the long run. So Phillips curve shows the relationship between unemployment and inflation rate. So if the Phillips curve is vertical in the long run, then an increase in the money supply from the year to year will dash change the unemployment rate. Will it change the unemployment rate? No, unemployment is fixed. Unemployment cannot change. So here no change will come in unemployment. No change will come in unemployment. What will happen to inflation? If the money supply is increasing, with more money, you will demand more. If you are demanding more, there will be more inflation that will come in the economy. With more demand, prices will rise. So inflation will increase. So inflation can change. Inflation will increase, but unemployment cannot change. So right answer here is yes. Very good. Very good. Everyone has given the right answer. That is C. So not change. The unemployment will not change, but inflation will increase. Okay. So unemployment is not changing, but the inflation will increase. So that is the Phillips curve that here you can see. Phillips curve, long run Phillips curve is vertical. Unemployment rate cannot change, but inflation rate can change. It can increase. Okay. Read the question now. Simple direct question that adverse supply shock will lead to what? Adverse supply shock means supply is shifting leftwards. So adverse supply, this is your aggregate supply, this is your aggregate demand. Adverse supply shock means supply is shifting leftwards, supply is decreasing. Okay. So with the decrease in supply, what will happen? Here we have the price level, here we have the output. So output is decreasing, and the prices are increasing. So output is decreasing means with the less output there will be less employment, so unemployment will increase. Increase in unemployment, and there is prices that are increasing, so increase in inflation. So the right answer is D here. So basically adverse supply shock leads to stagflation. Adverse supply shock leads to stagflation, stagnation and inflation. So increase in inflation and increase unemployment. There is unemployment that is more in the country. So D is the right answer here. So the right answer here is D, increase in inflation and increased unemployment. So adverse supply shock leads to stagflation. Okay, so that is the idea, that adverse supply shock, aggregate supply is becoming adverse. So prices are increasing, inflation rate is increasing, there is increase in inflation rate, and output is decreasing. With lesser output, there is lesser employment and more unemployment. Okay, so more inflation, more unemployment. So Phillips curve will shift rightwards also. So that is the idea, and this is the equation for inflation. Inflation depends upon expected inflation, and inflation negatively depends upon unemployment rate as per Phillips curve. As per the short run or downward sloping Phillips curve, the inflation rate and unemployment rate are inversely related. Okay, and the inflation also depends upon adverse supply shock. If there is adverse supply shock, inflation will increase. Next is, which of the following statement is incorrect regarding the business cycle? Read the statements carefully and try to answer. So which of the following statement is incorrect regarding the business cycle? Business cycle refers to the fluctuations in aggregate economic activity. That is correct. If the business cycle is happening, the economic activity is fluctuating. Business cycle is synchronic. That means it might start from one sector and it will spread to other sectors. So yes, business cycle is synchronic. Okay. Business cycle is symmetrical in all phases. Symmetrical means it is same. If boom is happening for 2 months, so downturn will also happen for 2 months. If downturn is for 2 months, trough will also be of 2 months. No, the business cycle is not symmetric, because the boom and the downturn phases, they can be of different lengths. Okay, something like this. So business cycle is not symmetrical in all phases. Peak is the highest and trough is the opposite. That is, peak is the highest and trough is the lowest. So they both are known as turning points. So peak is the highest, that is a turning point, and the trough is the lowest, that is a turning point. Okay, so this is correct, and the business cycles are recurrent in nature but not periodical. They keep on happening again and again, but the periodicity is not decided. So here all the other statements is correct, only the C statement is incorrect, because the trade cycle or the business cycle is asymmetrical. There is no symmetry that is there. Coming to the next question, which of the following is under the capital account of balance of payment? So which of the following is the answer here? So capital account of balance of payment, basically in the balance of payment we have the current account and we have the capital account. In the current account there is trade in goods, there is trade in services and transfer payment. In the capital account we have investment, foreign direct investment, foreign portfolio investment. We have the borrowings, external commercial borrowing and short-term debt, and we have external assistance. Okay, so trade in goods, trade in factor services, trade in non-factor services, transfer payments, all of this comes under current account. Only the short-term debt is in the capital account. So here the right answer is E. Very good, Nilesh. So right answer here is short-term debt. Debt comes under the capital account. Debt comes under the capital account. Okay. Admit card to release ho gaya na. You can download it from the PFRDA's website. Okay. So this is the answer. So here this is current account. Trade in goods, trade in services, transfer payment. Capital account is investment, foreign direct investment, foreign portfolio investment, borrowings, external commercial borrowing, short-term debt, external assistance. This comes under capital account. Now, there are autonomous transaction, accommodating transactions in the balance of payment. Autonomous transactions are independent of the situation in balance of payment. Balance of payment is in deficit, it is in surplus, doesn't matter. Balance of payment is in deficit or surplus, doesn't matter. Okay. the autonomous transactions, the transactions will continue, the trade will continue, the investment will continue, even if balance of payment is in deficit or surplus, people do not care. Now, accommodating transactions, these are the transactions that is done to cover up the deficit or to cover up the surplus. Read about them if you do not know. Coming to the next question, which of the following is not matched currently? So basically, under the budget, there is revenue expenditure and capital expenditure. So which of the following is not matched correctly? Try to answer this. So here, see, revenue expenditure, they are the regular expenditure of the government. Capital expenditure, they are the expenditure that happen to increase the asset of the government or to decrease the liability of the government. Okay. So revenue expenditure, interest payment by the government, it is revenue expenditure. Salary, pension, they are the regular expenditure of the government, so they are revenue expenditure. Loan disbursal by the government, if the government is disbursing the loan, the government will receive interest on that. If the government is giving the loan, government will receive interest on that. So that is an asset for the government, right? So that is capital expenditure, correct? Loan repayments by the government, it is capital expenditure because government is repaying the loan that the government has taken. So this is decreasing the liability of the government. Loan repayment is decreasing the liability of the government. So that is capital expenditure. Subsidies forwarded to all sectors. So that is not capital expenditure. That is, if the government is giving the subsidies, that is a regular payment by the government, regular expenditure by the government. So that is revenue expenditure. Okay. So this is the idea. Now coming to, so revenue expenditure, capital expenditure, revenue expenditure, it is the regular expenditure of the government. Capital expenditure, increase the asset or decrease the liability. Okay. So revenue receipts and capital receipt. Revenue receipts are the regular receipts of the government. Government is receiving the money on the regular basis. Capital receipt is reducing the asset or increasing the liability of the government. Coming to the last question. So which of the following deficit is calculated from fiscal deficit by deducting the interest payment? Very easy question, very direct question. I hope you will be able to answer this. Fiscal deficit minus interest payment is what deficit? So very easy, it is primary deficit. It is primary deficit. Your effective revenue deficit is revenue deficit minus the capital assets, the grants that is used for the creation of capital asset. So revenue deficit minus the grants that is used for the creation of capital asset, that is effective revenue deficit. Okay, revenue deficit is your revenue expenditure minus revenue receipt. Fiscal deficit is total expenditure minus total borrowings excluding total receipts excluding borrowing. So total expenditure minus total receipts excluding borrowing, it is fiscal deficit. Okay, so direct formulas you have to remember of the revenue deficit, fiscal deficit, effective revenue deficit and such. Now this is a homework question that is for your homework. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed my part. Now Anshul sir will be taking over for the costing part. Okay, and this is your homework question that you have to answer in the comment section below.
Fine. Very good afternoon to everyone. So I hope I'm audible. I'm audible to all of you. Just confirm in the chat window if I'm audible to everyone. Yes, fine. So I've got a signal that I'm audible to everyone. Thank you. It's been a long time I've taken a marathon session. I'm myself is feeling excited to take this session today. So before I start, I just want to set some ground rules. I don't have timings on the slide, but let's try to complete every question in 1 minute. The questions which are here for phase 1, they are from the perspective of phase 1. We have not kept questions जो कि बहुत मुश्किल हो, जो कि phase 1 में आएंगी नहीं. तो हम मुश्किल क्वेश्चन भी डाल सकते थे. कुछ अच्छे क्वेश्चंस हैं जैसे पेपर में आएंगे. तो आप इसमें अच्छे से करना और आई वांट कि जो लोगों ने अच्छी मेहनत की है वो 30 में से एटलीस्ट 25 प्लस का स्कोर जरूर लाए. क्योंकि फेज 1 में तो चलो शायद 15 नंबर या 10 नंबर, मतलब 1/3 नंबर लाके भी चल जाएगा शायद, 100 में से 33 शायद कट ऑफ जाएगी। बट आई वॉन्ट टू सी योर प्रिपरेशन फॉर फेज 2 ऑल्सो, कि फेज 2 के लिए आप कितना प्रिपेयर्ड है। सो 30 में से 25 should be an ideal target for somebody who is prepared well and is targeting selection or targeting good marks in phase 2 also. Understood? ठीक है, चलो शुरू करते हैं। So this is the first question for costing. TPM does not include which of the following component? ये A ऑप्शन है, ऊपर आ गया A. This is A option. Preventive maintenance, breakdown maintenance, predictive maintenance, none of the above. चलिए कौन करेगा ये क्वेश्चन? टीपीएम का क्या फुल फॉर्म होता है? व्हाट इज द फुल फॉर्म ऑफ टीपीएम? हु कैन टेल इट? व्हाट इज द फुल फॉर्म ऑफ टीपीएम? Nobody knows the full form of TPM here? Total productive maintenance, very right. So TPM stands for total productive maintenance, and the overall objective of TPM is to have a very efficient process जिसमें there is good availability, good performance, right, and good quality. So TPM is actually calculated through a parameter which is a multiplication of all these factors. तो टीपीएम यही बोलता है कि हमें अपने सिस्टम को डाउन नहीं होने देना है, क्योंकि एक बार सिस्टम ब्रेक डाउन हो गया फिर तो उसको अप करने में बहुत टाइम लग जाएगा। सो टीपीएम ऑलवेज वर्क्स ऑन द प्रिंसिपल ऑफ प्रिवेंटिव मेंटेनेंस, के हमें चीजों का इस तरह ध्यान रखना है कि मशीन्स ब्रेक डाउन ही ना करें, या फिर प्रिडिक्टिव मेंटेनेंस के हम ध्यान रख रहे हैं लेकिन जैसे ही हमें लगा, जैसे कोई वर्कर आके बताता है कि सर मशीन आवाज कर रही है, सो वी विल नॉट इग्नोर इट, वी विल टेक स्टेप्स टू रेक्टिफाई इट इमीडिएटली। दैट इज कॉल्ड प्रेडिक्टिव, कि आवाज कर रही है, वी कैन प्रेडिक्ट कि इसमें ये खराबी है, ये खराब हो सकती है आगे जाके। सो ये प्रेडिक्टिव और प्रिवेंटिव मेंटेनेंस के प्रिंसिपल पे काम करती है। ब्रेकडाउन मेंटेनेंस इसका ऑब्जेक्टिव नहीं होता है कि अगर ब्रेकडाउन हो गया तो हम इसको जल्दी अप कर लेंगे, दैट इज नॉट द ऑब्जेक्टिव। इनका ऑब्जेक्टिव है कि इसको ब्रेकडाउन होने ही नहीं देना है। चलिए नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन। A company sells its product at 75 per unit and maintains a profit volume ratio of 35%. फिक्स कॉस्ट आपको दी गई है, व्हाट यू हैव टू फाइंड इज ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट। व्हाट यू हैव टू फाइंड इज ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट। वॉइस इज नॉट क्लियर? Guys, my voice is clear, right? Somebody is saying in the chat that voice is not clear. Let's focus on this question. Meanwhile, if you have a problem, do let me know in the chat window if you have any problem with respect to voice. तो हमें पता है कि पीवी रेशियो का क्या फॉर्मूला होता है? Contribution by sales. They have given me PV ratio at 35%. They have given me PV ratio at 35%. So it would be 0.35 is contribution by sales. अब मेरा सेल्स कितना है? मेरा सेल्स इज गिवन है 75 पर यूनिट. दिस इज 75 per unit, right? So I have to find contribution first. तो contribution कितना होगा मेरा? 75 into 0.35. So just calculate this. 75 into 35. 26.25। तो मेरा कंट्रीब्यूशन कितना आ गया? 26.25। दिस इज माय कंट्रीब्यूशन, राइट? दिस इज माय कंट्रीब्यूशन। एंड जो मुझे फिक्स कॉस्ट दी हुई है वो इतनी है, मुझे ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट काट बताना है। सो व्हाट इज माय कंट्रीब्यूशन? कंट्रीब्यूशन इज माय, व्हाट इज माय कंट्रीब्यूशन? दिस इज माय सेल माइनस वेरिएबल कॉस्ट। तो वेरिएबल कॉस्ट निकालने के बाद मेरे पास 26 रुपए 25 पैसे बचते हैं, जिससे मुझे अपनी फिक्स कॉस्ट रिकवर करनी है। माय फिक्स कॉस्ट इज 1,05,000। तो मैं अपनी कंट्रीब्यूशन से इसको डिवाइड करूंगा, बिकॉज दिस इज 1 यूनिट इज कंट्रीब्यूटिंग। वेरिएबल कॉस्ट निकाल के ये इतना मुझे प्रॉफिट हो रहा है एक तरह से, बट मुझे फिक्स कॉस्ट रिकवर करनी है। तो आप इसको अगर कैलकुलेट करेंगे, इसको आप छोड़ दीजिए। 105 डिवाइडेड बाय 26.25, 26 4 104 हो गया। 0.25 इंटू 4 इज 1, सो दिस बिकम्स 105। तो इसका आंसर होगा ऑप्शन नंबर बी, राइट? थम्स अप, यस, ओके, फाइन। देखिए मैं सोल्यूशन वाली स्लाइड पे नहीं जाऊंगा, यहां पे यही चीजें सॉल्व की हुई हैं, बट आई विल सॉल्व इट जस्ट पॉइंट बाय पॉइंट सो दैट यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड इट बेटर। वेरी गुड पल्लवी, वेरी गुड दीपांशी। जो लोग ये न्यूमेरिकल सॉल्व कर पा रहे हैं, आई वुड से यू आर वेल प्रिपेयर्ड इवन फॉर फेज 2। वेल डन। चलिए नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पे चलते हैं। वी नीड टू जस्ट पिक अप द स्पीड नाउ। सेम क्वेश्चन है जो आपका पीएफआरडीए सेबी के पेपर में आया हुआ है 2020 में, ऑन द सेम लाइंस। जस्ट सॉल्व इट, यू विल गेट दैट कॉन्फिडेंस। सेम क्वेश्चन है जो भी मैंने बताया है, सेबी 2020 में ये क्वेश्चन आया है। सेलिंग प्राइस दिया है, पीवी रेशो दी है, फिक्स कॉस्ट दी है, एंड यू हैव टू फाइंड द ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट इन यूनिट्स। कितने यूनिट्स पे आपका ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट होगा। कौन सॉल्व करेगा इसको? सबसे पहले देखते हैं, हु विल सॉल्व इट फर्स्ट। I have my eyes on the chat window. Let's see who will answer this first. Meanwhile, I'll also start solving this. Again, PV ratio is contribution by sales. मेरा PV ratio यहाँ पे 0.4 है, contribution मुझे निकालना है, sales मुझे दी हुई है 40 पर यूनिट। तो दिस इज 16, कंट्रीब्यूशन इज ₹16 पर यूनिट। मतलब वेरिएबल कॉस्ट निकालने के बाद मुझे 16 रुपए बच रहे हैं। माय फिक्स कॉस्ट इज 60,000। सो टू रिकवर माय फिक्स कॉस्ट आई डिवाइड इट बाय 16 रुपीज पर यूनिट। सो माय आंसर वुड बी 3750। जब आप इसको डिवाइड करेंगे 16 3 48, फिर 12 रिमाइंडर बचेगा 120, 16 7 112, देन 8 रिमाइंडर बचेगा 80, 16 5 80। आंसर इज 3750। वेरी गुड। शुभम इज द फर्स्ट वन टू सॉल्व इट, rather Dipanshi is the first one to solve it. Very good, Dipanshi. Answer is option number A, 3750. Somebody is saying answer is option number B, which is not right. Answer is option number A, 3750. Let's move on to the next question now. Which of the following is incorrect with reference to marginal costing? Marginal costing के context में which of the statements is wrong here? Very easy question. See, we have studied about methods of costing, in which there is process costing, there is job costing, batch costing, service costing. But is marginal costing also a method of costing? Marginal costing is actually not a method of costing. Marginal costing is a technique of costing. So the first statement itself is wrong and I have to find the incorrect statement. So ideally my answer should be option number A. But let's read out the other statements. Marginal cost is the change in total cost when quantity produced is incremented by 1. That is right. So whenever we produce one additional unit, the cost incurred in that is marginal cost. It is extensively used for short-term decision making by managers. That is also right. And contribution margin, which is studied as part of marginal costing, is computed as sale price minus variable cost per unit, which is also right. Contribution is how much that product is contributing after deducting the variable cost. So option number C is also right. So only option number A is not right in context of marginal costing. So my answer would be option number A. Again, very well. Nilesh, Pallavi, Mukund, Kanchi. Dipanshi is saying C here. No, Dipanshi. C is not incorrect. C is correct. Chaliye, let's move to the next set of question. This is an interesting question. Let's see who solves this first. If PV ratio is 30% of sales, what accounts for the remaining 70% of the sales? PV ratio is 30% of the sales. What account for the remaining 70% of the sales? ये क्वेश्चन बहुत आसानी से हो सकता है. नीलेश ने सबसे पहले आंसर दिया है, फिर शुभम ने. मैं आपको बहुत आसानी से बताता हूं. आप सपोज कीजिए आपका सेल प्राइस है 100, वेरिएबल कॉस्ट एज्यूम कीजिए आपकी आ गई 70, तो आपकी कंट्रीब्यूशन कितनी हो जाएगी? कंट्रीब्यूशन आपकी हो जाएगी 100 माइनस 70, दैट इज 30. सो मेरा पीवी रेशियो क्या बनेगा? 30 बाय सेल्स, राइट? पीवी रेशियो इज कंट्रीब्यूशन बाय सेल्स. सो सेल्स इज 100, सो बेसिकली माय पीवी रेशियो इज कमिंग 30%. ठीक है, तो ये एग्जांपल में माय पीवी रेशियो इज कमिंग 30%. नाउ he is asking what is the 70% of the sales. सेल्स का 70% कितना होगा? 70, और 70 क्या है? मेरी वेरिएबल कॉस्ट है. तो माय आंसर वुड बी ऑप्शन नंबर बी, दैट इज वेरिएबल कॉस्ट. वेरी गुड. लॉट ऑफ पीपल, दीपांशी, पल्लवी, नीलेश हैव आंसर्ड दिस करेक्ट. हेलोजन, Ninad, very good guys. Let's move on to the next question now. Which of the following is not a feature of cellular manufacturing system? चलिए बताइए. लीन सिस्टम एंड इनोवेशन का है, बहुत ही बेसिक क्वेश्चन है. Which of the following is not a feature of cellular manufacturing system? What is cellular manufacturing system? Cellular manufacturing system में क्या होता है? काफी मशीन्स को साथ में कनेक्ट करके एक सेल की शेप में प्रोडक्शन की जाती है. जैसे मेरी मशीन 1 हो गई, मशीन 2 हो गई, मशीन 3 हो गई. तो इंस्टेड ऑफ फर्स्ट प्रोड्यूसिंग 100 यूनिट्स हियर एंड देन सेंडिंग इट टू मशीन 2, व्हाट दे डू इज वो एक एक यूनिट को पूरे फ्लो में से निकाल के बाहर फिनिश प्रोडक्ट निकालते हैं. सो इससे क्या होता है कि आपके एक ही फ्लो में पूरा प्रोडक्ट तैयार हो रहा है. ऐसा नहीं आपने पहले यहां से निकाले 100 यूनिट्स, फिर यहां डाले, फिर यहां डाले, जैसे बैच सिस्टम में होता है. सो ऑप्शन नंबर इज राइट, दैट इट इज अ प्रोसेस टू फॉर्म शॉर्ट फोकस पाथ. ऑप्शन नंबर बी इज दैट इट फैसिलिटेट्स बोथ प्रोडक्शन एंड क्वालिटी कंट्रोल. यस, क्योंकि यहां पे क्या हो रहा है, अगर किसी भी मशीन में गड़बड़ है एकदम पकड़ी जाएगी and you can then set the whole process right, because आपको फिनिश प्रोडक्ट भी यहां पे दिख रहा है, तो कोई गड़बड़ होगी पहले पकड़ी जाएगी. सेलुलर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंक्रीजेस वेस्ट, ये गलत है. इनफैक्ट इट हेल्प्स यू एलिमिनेट वेस्ट. सेलुलर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हेल्प्स यू एलिमिनेट वेस्ट. सो द आंसर हियर इज ऑप्शन नंबर सी. ठीक है, इनकरेक्ट पूछा था एग्जाम में, ये ध्यान रखना है कि इनकरेक्ट पूछा गया है, करेक्ट पूछा गया है. यहां पे आंसर होगा ऑप्शन नंबर सी. चलिए नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट अ प्रिंसिपल ऑफ कैजान कॉस्टिंग? अगेन बहुत आसान है. लीन सिस्टम एंड इनोवेशन इज वन सच यूनिट. अगर आपने नहीं पढ़ा है तो आप उसको पढ़ लें. यहां से मैक्सिमम नंबर आपको स्कोर करने हैं. काइजन कॉस्टिंग क्या होती है भैया? काइजन कॉस्टिंग वही है. काइजन क्या है? काइजन वर्क्स ऑन द प्रिंसिपल ऑफ कॉन्टिन्यूअस इंप्रूवमेंट, कि हमें हर रोज हर घंटे हमें इंप्रूव करना है. सो काइजन का ये प्रिंसिपल है. तो उन्होंने पूछा है नॉट अ प्रिंसिपल, तो ये आंसर नहीं होगा. देन काइजन कॉस्टिंग actually advocates that there should be collective decision making. Everyone should be asked to participate in the process of decision making. So this is also a feature. This is not the answer. All unskilled employees. ये गलत है. Kazan costing never advocates that the employees should be unskilled. Rather, it focuses on that they should be skilled employees so that the work can be done properly. Proper training should be given to them. तो इट्स नॉट अ फीचर इज ऑप्शन नंबर सी. ये भी आपके प्रीवियस ईयर एग्जाम्स में आया हुआ क्वेश्चन है. सेबी या पीएफआरडीए में ही आया था. चलिए नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. A sales of company changed from 1 lakh rupees to 2 lakh rupees and the contribution increased by 20% over a base of 1 lakh. You have to find the PV ratio. You have to find the PV ratio. Hanji, who will answer this? Shubham is saying A. Sateja is saying B. शुभम चेक करो दोबारा. पीवी रेशो क्या होगी हमारी यहां पे? पीवी रेशो इज कंट्रीब्यूशन बाय सेल्स. ये फॉर्मूला तो रट जाना चाहिए आपको. या फिर अब यहां पे हम डेल्टा की बात कर रहे हैं, चेंज की, तो डेल्टा कंट्रीब्यूशन बाय डेल्टा सेल्स. मेरा कंट्रीब्यूशन कितना इंक्रीज हुआ है? 20%. किसके ऊपर? 1 लाख के ऊपर. तो मेरा कंट्रीब्यूशन कितना इंक्रीज हो गया? 20,000. और मेरी सेल्स कितनी इंक्रीज हुई है? 1 लाख से 2 लाख. तो मेरी सेल्स 1 लाख इंक्रीज हो गई है. तो इट इज 1/5 और वी कैन से 20%. PV ratio is 20% here. Answer is option number B. A नहीं है शुभम. So a lot of people, Dipanshi, Piyush, Pallavi, Saitija, Amisha, you all are correct. Well done. You're well prepared. Guys, अभी तक समझ आ रहा है? Are you able to understand the questions and are you enjoying this? Do give me a thumbs up in the chat window and please like this session if you are enjoying this session. चलिए नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पे आते हैं. कैंटीन एक्सपेंस फॉर अ फैक्ट्री इज क्लासिफाइड एज व्हाट? ये बताइए मुझे. दिस इज अ गुड क्वेश्चन. दिस कैन बी कंफ्यूजिंग. सीम्स easy but it can be tricky for someone. Piyush is saying, sir, is marathon enough for phase 1? Piyush, I'm not sure in what context you are asking this. मैराथन तो रिवीजन के लिए है. आई होप यू वुड हैव प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर समवेयर एल्स. हाँ, अगर आप इसके सारे क्वेश्चंस कर पा रहे हैं या 90% क्वेश्चंस कर पा रहे हैं, इट मींस यू आर वेल प्रिपेयर्ड. वॉट एवर सोर्स यू हैव फॉलोड, दैट इज अ गुड सोर्स. चलिए, कैंटीन एक्सपेंस फॉर फैक्ट्री वर्कर्स क्या होता है? एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ओवरहेड, सेलिंग एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ओवरहेड, डायरेक्ट कॉस्ट, प्रोडक्शन ओवरहेड या फाइनेंशियल ओवरहेड. ओवरहेड कितने टाइप्स के होते हैं हमारे? हमारे ओवरहेड्स 3 टाइप के होते हैं. प्रोडक्शन ओवरहेड, जिसको फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड भी बोल देते हैं, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ओवरहेड, और तीसरा होता है सेलिंग एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ओवरहेड. ये 3 टाइप के ओवरहेड होते हैं। प्रोडक्शन ओवरहेड में क्या आता है, जो भी चीज जो डायरेक्ट कॉस्ट में ना इंक्लूड कर पाए, जो डायरेक्टली ना एट्रीब्यूट हो सके और प्रोडक्शन में यूज हो, जैसे कि अगर मैं बोल दूं आपको मेरी फैक्ट्री का रेंट, ठीक है, क्योंकि उसमें बहुत सारे प्रोडक्ट्स यूज हो रहे हैं, मैं फैक्ट्री के रेंट को कैसे डालूंगा कि एक यूनिट में कितना रेंट है मेरी फैक्ट्री का। जैसे मैंने फैक्ट्री में डिफरेंट प्रोडक्ट्स बनाए और उनकी डिफरेंट क्वांटिटीज बनाई, टोटल 10 लाख यूनिट्स बन गए, अब एक यूनिट पे कितना रेंट डालूं, दैट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू कैलकुलेट। तो फैक्ट्री रेंट हो गया, मेरे कैंटीन में अगर कोई खाना दे रहे हैं वर्कर्स को, क्योंकि वर्कर्स प्रोडक्शन में इन्वॉल्व है, वो भी मेरा प्रोडक्शन ओवरहेड होगा। एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ओवरहेड, सपोज कीजिए हमारे हेड ऑफिस में चेयरमैन है, उनकी सैलरी हो गई, हेड ऑफिस का मेरा इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का बिल हो गया, ये सारे एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ओवरहेड हैं जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में एक्सपेंस हो रहे हैं मेरे। सेलिंग एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ओवरहेड क्या होगा, मेरी एडवर्टीजमेंट की कॉस्ट हो सकती है, मेरा सेल्स एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन का जो स्टाफ है उसकी सैलरी हो सकती है। तो जो कैंटीन एक्सपेंसेस हैं, क्योंकि ये मेरे वर्कर्स के ऊपर हो रहे हैं और मेरे वर्कर्स फैक्ट्री में डायरेक्टली प्रोडक्शन में इन्वॉल्व हैं, सो दिस वुड बी प्रोडक्शन ओवरहेड। आंसर इज ऑप्शन नंबर डी। ठीक है जी, आंसर इज ऑप्शन नंबर डी। लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन। चलो ये करो भाई, ये देखते हैं कौन करता है। दैट्स अ गुड क्वेश्चन। जो इसका आंसर सबसे पहले देगा भाई, उसका सिलेक्शन होने के चांस हैं। 10th क्वेश्चन का आंसर जो सबसे पहले देगा उसका सिलेक्शन होने का चांस है भाई इस बार। कौन देगा भाई, कौन देगा? कमॉन कमॉन, कौन बनेगा पीएफआरडीए में ऑफिसर इस बार? दीपांशी, शुभम, मुकुंद, पल्लवी बोल रहे हैं 23,000 इज द करेक्ट आंसर। इज 23,000 इज द करेक्ट आंसर। अब देखिए, अगर आपका आंसर सही है, आपको मैं बोल रहा हूं आप पीएफआरडी में ग्रेड ए ऑफिसर बन सकते हैं, और अगर गलत हुआ तो यही क्वेश्चन आपको नेगेटिव मार्किंग देगा, जिससे आपके चांसेस और कम हो जाएंगे। चलिए, प्राइम कॉस्ट क्या होती है हमारी? प्राइम कॉस्ट हमारी क्या होती है? डायरेक्ट मटेरियल प्लस डायरेक्ट लेबर प्लस डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंस। ठीक है, डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंस हमारा आ गया। अब यहां पे डायरेक्ट मटेरियल कितना दिया है? 10,000। डायरेक्ट लेबर कितनी दी है? 5,000। तो 15,000 तो श्योर है। अब डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंस यहां पे क्लियरली नहीं दिया है, मुझे इसमें से निकालना है मेरा क्या डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंस है। तो हमें ये याद रखना चाहिए कि जो भी मेरी रॉयल्टी या पेटेंट कॉस्ट होती है वो हमेशा डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंस में इंक्लूड होती है। तो मेरा ये वाला और ये वाला 8,000 ये मेरा डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंस बनेगा। तो ये मेरी टोटल कॉस्ट यहां पे 23,000 बन गई। बट क्या जो बाकी कॉस्ट हैं क्या वो डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंस में नहीं आएंगी? देखिए, नट्स एंड बोल्ट्स मेरा क्या हो गया? फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड हो गया। ये डायरेक्ट कॉस्ट में नहीं आएगी, बिकॉज यू कैन नॉट एट्रीब्यूट कि अगर आपकी 1 लाख के नट बोल्ट खर्च हो गए हैं मशीनों में इधर उधर, तो एक यूनिट में कितना होगा। सेल्स स्टाफ की जो कॉस्ट है वो प्रोडक्शन में नहीं यूज हो रही है, फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड नहीं है, वो सेलिंग ओवरहेड, सेलिंग है, डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ओवरहेड है। स्टेशनरी हेड ऑफिस में यूज हो रही है। हेड ऑफिस क्या कर रहा है? एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन। तो ये एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ओवरहेड है। एडवर्टीजमेंट क्या है? अगेन सेलिंग ओवरहेड है। तो ये सारे ओवरहेड्स हैं। प्राइम कॉस्ट सिर्फ ये 4 से बनेगी, आंसर होगा 23,000। सो ऑल दीज पीपल हैव आंसर्ड दिस करेक्टली। वेल डन, वेल डन गाइस। दीपांशी, शुभम, मुकुंद, पल्लवी, वेरी गुड, प्राउड ऑफ यू गाइस। कहां से पढ़ रहे हैं आप लोग? अच्छा पढ़ रहे हैं। चलिए आगे चलते हैं। चलिए ये वाला क्वेश्चन कीजिए। अब कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन निकालनी है। कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन निकालनी है भाई, कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन। ये भी ऐसा ही क्वेश्चन है, अच्छा क्वेश्चन है। सेम ही डेटा है जो प्रीवियस क्वेश्चन में था। आपको कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन निकालनी है। क्वेश्चन नंबर 11। कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन हमारी क्या होती है? प्राइम कॉस्ट जो हमने पिछले क्वेश्चन में निकाली थी, प्लस फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड प्लस एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ओवरहेड, ये मेरी कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन होती है। अगर मैं सिर्फ इतना लूं तो ये मेरी वर्क्स कॉस्ट होती है या कॉस्ट ऑफ वर्क होती है, कि बनाने में, मतलब उसको बेसिक बनाने में कितनी कॉस्ट आई, बट एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव करके टोटल कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन मिलती है। तो प्राइम कॉस्ट तो मैंने 23,000 निकाल ली थी। अब मेरा फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड क्या है? नट्स एंड बोल्ट्स है, जो कि 4,000 है। और मेरा एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ओवरहेड क्या है? मेरा एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ओवरहेड स्टेशनरी है हेड ऑफिस में। ये तो सेलिंग ओवरहेड है, ये भी सेलिंग ओवरहेड है, सेल्स में यूज होता है। तो ये स्टेशनरी हेड ऑफिस कितना है? 2,000। तो ये 23,000 प्लस 4,000 प्लस 2,000। तो क्या आंसर होगा इसका? 29,000 होगा भाई। 27,000 क्यों होगा? सॉरी, नट्स एंड बोल्ट्स की 2,000 है, 2,000 है, सही है। नट्स एंड बोल्ट्स 2,000 और स्टेशनरी हेड ऑफिस में 2,000। तो इसका आंसर हो गया 23, 2 25, 2 27। आंसर इज ऑप्शन नंबर सी। आई एम सॉरी, मैं ये नीचे वाला फिगर ले गया उसमें। वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड। जॉन, दीपांशी, मुकुंद, शुभम, वेरी गुड गाइस, मजा आ गया यार। आंसर इज 27,000। तो दिस इज अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग। चलिए क्वेश्चन नंबर 12 करते हैं। ये तो बहुत ही आसान है यार, 15 सेकेंड्स में हो जाना चाहिए। इंडस्ट्रीज दैट मैन्युफैक्चर प्रोडक्ट्स और रेंडर सर्विसेज अगेंस्ट स्पेसिफिक ऑर्डर्स as distinct from continuous production for the stock use the dash method of costing। मतलब एक स्पेसिफिक पर्सनल कस्टमाइज्ड ऑर्डर के लिए अगर आप कुछ कर रहे हैं, उसमें आप कौन सी कॉस्टिंग टेक्निक यूज करेंगे? जैसे कि एक इंटीरियर डिजाइनर होता है। इंटीरियर डिजाइनर को जब आप बोलेंगे कि मेरे घर में इंटीरियर डिजाइनिंग करनी है, इट वुड बी कस्टमाइज। इट कैन नॉट बी लाइक कि ये स्टैंडर्ड है, बस ये इतने ही रुपए लगेंगे। डिपेंडिंग अपॉन योर रिक्वायरमेंट्स, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द एफर्ट, ही विल चार्ज यू, सो द कॉस्टिंग विल चेंज। तो ये होती है हमारी जॉब कॉस्टिंग, जहां पे हम एक स्पेसिफिक जॉब के लिए, ठीक है, उसकी एक स्पेसिफिक जॉब के लिए कॉस्टिंग करते हैं, क्योंकि उसमें स्पेसिफिक कस्टमाइज्ड रिक्वायरमेंट्स होती हैं। आंसर इज ए। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन नंबर 13। चलिए इकोनॉमिक बैच क्वांटिटी पे क्वेश्चन आ गया है। आपको इसका फॉर्मूला याद है तो जल्दी से सॉल्व कीजिए। अ कंपनी हैज एन एनुअल डिमांड ऑफ 7,200, सेटअप कॉस्ट पर बैच इज ₹1,800 एंड कैरिंग कॉस्ट इज 12 per unit per annum। व्हाट इज द इकोनॉमिक बैच क्वांटिटी। यहां पे पर एनम दी हुई है, अच्छा है अगर एग्जाम में पर मंथ दी हुई है तो उसको एडजस्ट कर लेना, कभी कभी ऐसा हो जाता है। चलो कैलकुलेट करो इसको। व्हाट इज द फॉर्मूला फॉर इकोनॉमिक बैच क्वांटिटी। इकोनॉमिक बैच क्वांटिटी होता क्या है, व्हाट इज इकोनॉमिक बैच क्वांटिटी। इकोनॉमिक बैच क्वांटिटी बताता है कि हमें कितनी क्वांटिटी में प्रोड्यूस करना चाहिए ताकि हमारी कॉस्ट मिनिमाइज हो जाए, क्योंकि अगर हम बहुत लो क्वांटिटी में प्रोड्यूस करेंगे तो हमें बार बार मशीन्स को रोकना पड़ेगा, स्टार्ट करना पड़ेगा, जिसकी एक अलग कॉस्ट आ जाएगी। अगर हम बहुत हाई क्वांटिटी में प्रोड्यूस करेंगे कि मेरी डिमांड तो है जी 100 यूनिट की, पर मैंने इकट्ठी 1000 यूनिट प्रोड्यूस कर ली, तो 1000 यूनिट बनाने में आपका पैसा बहुत लग गया, पर आप उसको जल्दी जल्दी बेच नहीं पाएंगे, फिर उसको स्टोरेज भी करना पड़ेगा, और जो पैसा आप ऑलरेडी लगा चुके हैं उस पर इंटरेस्ट भी आपका लूज हो रहा है। तो दोनों के बेनिफिट्स हैं, दोनों के डिसएडवांटेजेस हैं, इसलिए क्या क्वांटिटी बेस्ट रहती है जहां पे हमारी कॉस्ट ओवरऑल मिनिमाइज हो जाएगी। तो इकोनॉमिक बैच क्वांटिटी का फॉर्मूला होता है स्क्वायर रूट ऑफ 2AS बाय कैरिंग कॉस्ट। ए क्या है, मेरी एनुअल डिमांड। एनुअल डिमांड मेरी कितनी है, 7200। एस क्या है मेरा, एस है मेरा सेटअप कॉस्ट। यहां पे मेरा सेटअप कॉस्ट कितना है, 1800, और कैरिंग कॉस्ट कितना दिया हुआ है, 12। तो अगर मैं इसको फॉर्मूला में पुट करूंगा, इट वुड बी 2 इंटू 7200 इंटू 1800 डिवाइडेड बाय 12। तो दिस वुड बी 6 इंटू 2 1200 इंटू 1800 का स्क्वायर रूट। अब ये 4 जीरोज हैं तो स्क्वायर रूट के बाहर जाके ये 2 जीरोज बन जाएंगी, और ये स्क्वायर रूट बन जाएगा 18 10 180 इंटू प्लस 36 216 का। 216 का क्यूब तो 6 होता है, स्क्वायर रूट क्या होता है 216 का। एग्जाम में अगर टाइम कम हो तो थोड़ा सा तिगड़म लगा सकते हो। 14 का स्क्वायर रूट 196 का स्क्वायर रूट होता है 14, और 225 का स्क्वायर रूट होता है 15। तो बेसिकली हमारा आंसर 14 और 15 के बीच में है। मतलब अगर मैं 14.5 लेके चलूं तो 14.5 इंटू ये मेरी 2 जीरोस बाहर थी, मेरा आंसर हो जाएगा 1450। ये अप्रोक्सीमेट है, बट आप देखेंगे अब यहां पे दो आंसर्स आ गए हैं, एक तो 1440 आ गया है और 1470 आ गया है, तो मैं अप्रोक्सीमेशन के साथ नहीं जा सकता, मुझे एग्जैक्ट स्क्वायर रूट उसका निकालना पड़ेगा ताकि मैं श्योर हो जाऊं कि मेरा आंसर क्या है। तो आप इसका एग्जैक्ट स्क्वायर रूट निकालें। वैसे फर्दर अप्रोक्सीमेशन से यही पता लगता है कि अगर मैं 196 और 225 के बीच में देखूं तो ये 225 के ज्यादा नजदीक है, 216। तो इसका आंसर 14.5 और 15 के ही बीच में होगा। तो ये आंसर उस गेस से मैं 1470 कर दूंगा, मैं अपने हिसाब से मैथ कर रहा हूं, ठीक है। मेरा क्वांट ऐसे ही चलता है, सो इट हैज बीन बिल्ड ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम। आप चाहें तो आप एग्जैक्ट स्क्वायर रूट निकाल सकते हैं, मुझे इनफैक्ट स्क्वायर रूट निकालना भी नहीं आता है, तो मैं तो ऐसे ही कैलकुलेशन करके आराम से क्वेश्चन निकाल लेता ये। क्योंकि आप देख सकते हैं ना 216 196 से ज्यादा दूर है, 225 के बिल्कुल पास है, तो मतलब आंसर मेरा 14.5 और 15 के बीच में आएगा। तो यही आंसर सही बैठता है, आंसर इज ऑप्शन नंबर सी। ठीक है क्या ये? हाँ, चलिए ये क्वेश्चन किस किसने सही किया था? काफी लोगों ने सही किया, इनफैक्ट पल्लवी, नीलेश, वेरी गुड गाइस। चलिए नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, ये तो बहुत आसान है, ऐसे क्वेश्चन आते हैं आपके। ये इक्विवेलेंट यूनिट्स ऑफ वर्क हमें निकालने हैं कि कंपनी ने जी 8000 यूनिट्स बनाई हैं, और 5% नॉर्मल लॉस हो गया। तो 5% नॉर्मल लॉस मतलब कितना हो गया, 800 का 5% कितना हो गया, 400। तो 400 तो मेरा नॉर्मल लॉस है, खराब हो गया, बचा कितना, 7600। अब 7600 में से वो कह रहे हैं कि 6600 यूनिट्स आर ट्रांसफर्ड आउट एंड 1000 यूनिट्स रिमेन इन क्लोजिंग वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस। तो 6600 यूनिट्स तो पूरी कंप्लीट हो गई, पूरी कंप्लीट हो गई। बाकी जो 1000 बची 7600 में से वो वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस है, और उनपे कन्वर्जन कॉस्ट के अकॉर्डिंग 60% काम हुआ है, 60%। तो व्हाट इज द इक्विवेलेंट यूनिट्स। तो हमें इसमें ये बताना होता है कि अब कुछ यूनिट्स पूरी नहीं बनी है, बट अगर हम उसको देखें कि वो उनका कितना परसेंट कंप्लीट हो गया, तो मैं ओवरऑल क्या बोल सकता हूं कि मेरा कितना काम हो गया है। तो 6600 यूनिट्स तो मेरे पूरे हो गए हैं, जो बचे 1000 हैं, जो बचे 1000 हैं उस पर 60% काम हो गया है। तो 0.6 करूंगा मैं इसको, तो मेरा आंसर आ जाएगा 600। तो मतलब 1000 यूनिट्स पे मैं बोल सकता हूं कि अराउंड 600 यूनिट्स के इक्विवेलेंट काम हो गया है। हालांकि हर यूनिट पूरा नहीं हुआ है 1000 वाला, बट इन कन्वर्जन टर्म्स 600 यूनिट्स के इक्विवेलेंट काम हो गया है। तो 6600 प्लस 600 मेरा आंसर आएगा 7200, ऑप्शन नंबर सी। कोई फॉर्मूले की जरूरत है ही नहीं इसको, अगर बेसिक्स क्लियर है तो कोई फॉर्मूले की जरूरत नहीं है। फॉर्मूले से भी कर सकते हैं, जो ये स्टैंडर्ड मेथड से यहां किया होगा, ये कि ये जी ट्रांसफर्ड प्लस वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस करके ये निकाला है। बट मुझे नहीं लगता इस तरह से आपको कुछ रट्टा लगाने की जरूरत है, बहुत सिंपल तरीके से क्वेश्चन ये हो सकता है। समझ आ रहा है जी। चलिए नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, थोड़े स्पीड बढ़ाते हैं, आगे क्वेश्चन वैसे आसान है थोड़े। चलिए अगेन अ वेरी इजी क्वेश्चन, फेज वन में ऐसे ही क्वेश्चन आते हैं वैसे, बट बेसिक्स क्लियर होने चाहिए। अ कंपनी प्रोसेसेस 300 यूनिट्स और एक नॉर्मल लॉस 30% है। वो बोलता है कि एक्चुअल आउटपुट मेरी अगर 190 यूनिट्स है, मेरा एबनॉर्मल लॉस क्या है। एबनॉर्मल लॉस क्या होता है, एक्सपेक्टेड आउटपुट माइनस एक्चुअल आउटपुट। कि मैं एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा था मेरी 100 यूनिट्स बनेंगी लेकिन 70 ही बनी, तो मेरा जो 30 यूनिट का लॉस है वो एबनॉर्मल लॉस है, क्योंकि वो होना ही नहीं चाहिए था। अब इस केस में क्या हो रहा है, मेरी कंपनी ने 300 यूनिट्स प्रोसेस की, मतलब 300 यूनिट्स बनाने का सामान डाला, और ये मेरी एक्सपेक्टेशन है कि 30% तो लॉस होता ही होता है। अगर मैं सपोज 300 यूनिट लक्कड़ लाऊं, 300 लक्कड़ के लॉग लाऊं, तो मुझे पता है कि कुछ लक्कड़ तो वेस्ट होगी, 30% वेस्ट होगी। तो 30% अगर वेस्ट होती है तो मेरी एक्सपेक्टेड आउटपुट कितनी होगी, 300 यूनिट्स का 30% कितना हो गया, मतलब 90 यूनिट्स तो मेरी वेस्ट होंगी, वो नॉर्मल लॉस है। तो मेरा एक्सपेक्टेड यूनिट कितना है, एक्सपेक्टेड आउटपुट कितना है, 300 माइनस 90 यानी कि 210। मैं एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा हूं कि मेरी 210 यूनिट्स बनेंगी आफ्टर नॉर्मल लॉस, बट बनी कितनी, एक्चुअल आउटपुट कितना है, 190। मतलब मेरी 20 यूनिट्स मेरी एबनॉर्मल लॉस में आएंगी, विच इज ऑप्शन नंबर बी। क्लियर है जी, बहुत सिंपल है, कोई बड़े बड़े फॉर्मूलाज याद करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है। बिग स्मोकी सिंह सर करंट अफेयर्स का मैराथन ले आइए पीएफआरडीए के लिए। सर आपने बोल दिया, हम ले आए, हम जरूर लेके आएंगे। चलिए नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, मार्जिनल कॉस्ट इज टेकन एज इक्वल टू, बहुत न्यूमेरिकल हो गए, थोड़ी थ्योरी कर लेते हैं। मार्जिनल कॉस्ट इज टेकन एज इक्वल टू व्हाट, मार्जिनल कॉस्ट क्या होती है, मार्जिनल कॉस्ट इज बेसिकली द इंक्रीज इन कॉस्ट व्हेन वी प्रोड्यूस वन एडिशनल यूनिट। इसको हम एक और फॉर्मूला में भी रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं, अगर आपको याद होगा, वो मैं डिराइव भी कर सकता हूं बट बहुत टाइम लगेगा। मार्जिनल कॉस्ट इज टेकन एज इक्वल टू, आंसर इज जी ऑप्शन नंबर ई, प्राइम कॉस्ट प्लस वेरिएबल ओवरहेड्स। ओवरहेड्स में हम सिर्फ वेरिएबल ओवरहेड्स लेंगे, फिक्स्ड ओवरहेड्स नहीं लेंगे। तो इसका आंसर ऑप्शन नंबर ई है। ये फॉर्मूला कैसे बनता है वो उसके बारे में थोड़ा पढ़िए अगर समझ नहीं आया है आपको अभी तक, नहीं तो आप इसको भी याद भी कर लीजिए। वैसे ऐसे डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन तो एग्जाम में नहीं आएगा, ठीक है। चलिए नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पे चलते हैं। मार्जिनल कॉस्टिंग इज ऑल्सो नोन एज व्हाट? ये तो अच्छा क्वेश्चन है, थोड़ा ट्रिकी है, बट क्या बोलते हैं उसको? क्या वॉल्यूम कॉस्टिंग बोलते हैं, क्या वेरिएबल कॉस्टिंग बोलते हैं, क्या कंट्रीब्यूशन कॉस्टिंग बोलते हैं? बताइए, मार्जिनल कॉस्टिंग को और किस किस नाम से हम जानते हैं? सेवनटीन का आंसर बताइए, 17 का। जॉन आप बोल रहे हैं आंसर नंबर बी, चेक कीजिए एक बार। मुकुंद इज ऑल्सो सेइंग बी। हर हर महादेव इज सेइंग डी। बोथ बी एंड सी है ना। ट्रिकी क्वेश्चन, इट्स वेरी इजी अदरवाइज, इट्स वेरी इजी अदरवाइज, बट हमें कई बार एलियासिस नहीं याद होते हैं। मार्जिनल कॉस्टिंग पूरा समझ आया हुआ है, मार्जिनल कॉस्टिंग के न्यूमेरिकल भी हम कर लेंगे, बट ये क्वेश्चन नहीं होगा हमसे। मार्जिनल कॉस्टिंग इज ऑल्सो नोन एज वेरिएबल कॉस्टिंग, वो तो हमें पता है। कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन कॉस्टिंग भी बोलते हैं, क्योंकि मार्जिनल कॉस्टिंग के थ्रू हम निकालते हैं कि कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन कितना है किसी भी प्रोडक्ट का, सो दैट आई कैन रिकवर माई फिक्स कॉस्ट। इसको वॉल्यूम कॉस्टिंग भी बोलते हैं। मार्जिनल कॉस्टिंग में हम क्या निकालते हैं? प्रॉफिट वॉल्यूम पीवी रेशो, तो इसको वॉल्यूम कॉस्टिंग भी बोलते हैं। भैया किस वॉल्यूम पे मेरा ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट्स आएगा, किस वॉल्यूम पे मेरा कितना मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी है। तो इसका आंसर ऑप्शन नंबर ई है, ऑल ऑफ ए बी एंड सी। वेरी गुड दीपांशी एंड उमंग, वेरी गुड। यही क्वेश्चंस हैं जो बड़े ट्रिकी से होते हैं आसान बट ट्रिकी हो जाते हैं। चलिए क्वेश्चन नंबर 18 पे आते हैं। द मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी कैन बी डिफाइंड एज, अगेन वेरी इजी। अब थोड़ी इजी क्वेश्चन है यार, थोड़ा कॉन्फिडेंस आ जाए जो लोग नहीं कर पा रहे हैं। काफी न्यूमेरिकल्स कर लिए हमने, थोड़ी इजी क्वेश्चन है अभी ये तो डेफिनेशन बेस्ड है। अगेन ट्रिकी हो सकते हैं अगर डेफिनेशन कॉन्सेप्ट अच्छे से क्लियर नहीं है। मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी क्या होता है? देखिए, अगर मेरी कंपनी 100 यूनिट बना रही है और 100 यूनिट बना के वो सपोज करो 50 रुपए प्रॉफिट कमा रही है, और अगर 70 यूनिट बनाती है और 70 यूनिट बना के कोई प्रॉफिट नहीं बनाती, ब्रेक इवन होता है, तो 100 यूनिट बनाने पे मैं बोलूंगा कि मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी इज 30 यूनिट्स, क्योंकि जैसे ही मैं 100 से 30 यूनिट्स कम बना के यहां पहुंचता हूं, मेरा ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट आ जाता है। उसके बाद मैं लॉस में चला जाऊंगा, उसके बाद मैं लॉस में चला जाऊंगा। वेरी क्लियर है। तो यहां पे आंसर क्या होगा मेरा? आंसर इज ऑप्शन नंबर सी, कि जो भी मेरी एक्चुअल सेल्स है ओवर दी ब्रेक इवन वॉल्यूम, यहां पे 70 क्या है? 70 इज माय ब्रेक इवन वॉल्यूम, जहां पे मेरी कंपनी ब्रेक इवन पे है। इसके ऊपर मैं कितना बना रहा हूं? 30, दैट इज माय मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी, 100 माइनस 70। सो दिस इज एक्सेस ऑफ एक्चुअल सेल्स ओवर दी ब्रेक इवन वॉल्यूम ऑफ सेल्स। ऑप्शन नंबर सी। ठीक है जी, वेरी गुड, इजी क्वेश्चन था ये। चलिए 19 पे चलते हैं। चलिए ये निकालिए, ये भी हो जाना चाहिए। यू जस्ट नीड टू यूज अ डिफरेंट फॉर्मूला हेयर। पीवी रेशो निकालनी है बेसिकली। हमें 2 महीने की सेल्स दे रखी है, 2 महीने का प्रॉफिट भी दे रखा है। 2 महीने की सेल्स है, 2 महीने की प्रॉफिट है। हमें कंट्रीब्यूशन बाय सेल्स रेशो निकालनी है, पीवी रेशो निकालनी है। जल्दी बताइए। Guys, you keep solving this question. I'll just have a glass of water. विनोद, रौनक, यार विनोद को बोलना एक गिलास पानी देगा. So a lot of people are answering this as answer option number B. Let's see. So contribution by sales ratio का एक और फॉर्मूला होता है, increase in profit over increase in sales. मेरा प्रॉफिट कितना बढ़ा है भाई यहाँ पे? 24,000 से 40,000 हो गया है, मतलब 16,000 बढ़ा है. और मेरी सेल्स कितनी बढ़ी है भाई? 3,80,000 से 4,20,000, मतलब 40,000 मेरी सेल्स बढ़ी है. 40,000 सेल्स बढ़ने से मेरा 16,000 प्रॉफिट बढ़ा है. तो मेरी पीवी रेशो क्या हो गई? 16/40. 8 2s are 16, 8 5s are 40. आंसर इज 2/5. आंसर इज ऑप्शन नंबर बी. मेरी 40,000 सेल बढ़ने से 16,000 प्रॉफिट बढ़ा है. तो इससे मुझे पता लगता है कि इसमें कुछ फिक्स कॉस्ट इन्वॉल्व है, नहीं तो मेरा प्रॉफिट सेम रेशो में बढ़ता. ठीक है जी, वेरी गुड. चलिए क्वेश्चन नंबर 20. ये क्वेश्चन करने के बाद, आंसर देखने के बाद सब लोग बताएंगे मुझे कि अब तक आपके 20 में से कितने मार्क्स बने हैं. 10 बने हैं, 12 बने हैं, 14 बने हैं, 16 बने हैं, 18 बने हैं. ये भी आसान क्वेश्चन है. आपको ब्रेक इवन सेल्स निकालनी है, नॉट इन यूनिट्स बट इन रुपीज. मतलब हमें सेल्स दिया है, मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी दिया है, पीवी रेशो दिया है, और हमें ब्रेक इवन सेल्स निकालनी है. देखो कैसे करोगे. करण बोल रहे हैं 20 का सी. करण चेक करो दोबारा एक बार. बाकी लोग भी लिखें अपना आंसर. शुभम कह रहे हैं डी 60,000. नीलेश कह रहे हैं सी. मुकुंद भी कह रहे हैं सी. देखिए मैंने बताया था मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी क्या है. योर सेल्स ठीक है कि सेल्स ब्रेक इवन के ऊपर मेरी सेल्स कितनी है, वो 40% है. तो मैं इसको ऐसे लिख सकता हूं, माई ब्रेक इवन सेल्स इज सेल्स माइनस मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी. क्योंकि मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी अगर माइनस कर दें तो मेरी सेल्स ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट पे ही पहुंच जाएगी. मेरी सेल्स कितनी है? मेरी सेल्स है 9 लाख. मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी कितना है? 40%. 40% ऑफ व्हाट? सेल्स. तो 40% ऑफ 9 लाख कितना होगा? 3,60,000. 9 4 36. आई होप इतना मैथ आप कर पा रहे होंगे. तो ये मेरा कितना आ जाएगा? 5,40,000. माई ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट इन सेल्स के कितनी सेल्स पे इन रुपीज मेरा ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट आएगा, दैट इज 5,40,000. आंसर इज ऑप्शन नंबर सी. क्लियर है जी? 36,000 नहीं है दीपांशी इसका आंसर. 3,60,000 नहीं है. नहीं, वो तो मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी हो गया, ब्रेक इवन सेल्स नहीं हुआ. चलिए 21st. When standard cost are used, the amount of detailed record keeping will normally, अगर मैं standard cost use करता हूं, standard cost क्या होती है पता है? याद है या भूल गए? MRA Singh, sir, thanks for conducting such sessions. You all deserve salute and respect. Thank you so much. अगर आपको मजा आ रहा है, क्वेश्चंस अच्छे लग रहे हैं, then please do like this session. Please do like this session, everyone out here. When standard costs are used, the amount of detailed record keeping will usually, आसान है यार, डिक्रीज होगा. स्टैंडर्ड कॉस्टिंग से क्या होगा यार, आपको बहुत ज्यादा कॉस्टिंग डिटेल्स नहीं मतलब स्टोर करके रखनी पड़ेंगी, रिपोर्ट्स आसानी से निकल जाएंगी, मटेरियल की रिक्विजिशंस आसानी से मिल जाएंगी. सो रिकॉर्ड कीपिंग कम होगी क्योंकि आप स्टैंडर्ड कॉस्ट कर रहे हो, आप अलग अलग कॉस्टिंग में नहीं जा रहे हो. तो 21 का आंसर ऑप्शन नंबर बी होगा. चलो, बजट्स मस्ट बी प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर अगेन इजी क्वेश्चन है बट ट्रिकी हो सकता है. इजी है बट ट्रिकी हो सकता है, देखते हैं इसको. Budgets must be prepared for a definitive period, indefinitive period, not less than 24 months. Shubham is saying B. Not less than period of 36 months, none of the above. देखिए, बजट्स आर नॉर्मली प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर एटलीस्ट अ पीरियड ऑफ 1 ईयर. तो ये कहना कि मिनिमम 24 मंथ्स या 36 मंथ के लिए बनेगा, ये गलत है. बट बजट हमेशा एक डेफिनेटिव पीरियड के लिए बनाया जाता है. ऐसा नहीं है कि मैंने बजट बना दिया. मैं बजट बनाऊंगा कि अगले 6 महीने में, अगले 1 साल में मैं क्या बजटिंग कर रहा हूं, कितना रेवेन्यू एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा हूं, कितना पैसा मुझे खर्चना है. तो इसका आंसर हमेशा एक डेफिनेटिव पीरियड होगा. हाँ, मिनिमम हम जनरली बजट 1 साल के लिए बनाते हैं, बट इसके कॉन्टेक्स्ट में इसका आंसर ऑप्शन नंबर ए है. चलिए, क्वेश्चन नंबर 23 पे चलते हैं, थोड़ा जल्दी करते हैं. माई स्लॉट वॉज स्टिल 5 बज गए हैं. Which of the following cost can be termed as preventive cost for labor turnover? बहुत आसान है. लेबर टर्नओवर के लिए अगर मैं कोई खर्चा करता हूं तो उस खर्चे में से किन खर्चे को मैं प्रिवेंटिव मानूंगा? रिक्रूटमेंट ऑफ न्यू वर्कर्स का कॉस्ट, ट्रेनिंग ऑफ न्यू वर्कर्स का कॉस्ट, गुड वर्किंग कंडीशंस देने का कॉस्ट, both A and B, all of A, B and C. Come on. प्रिवेंटिव कॉस्ट क्या होती है? प्रिवेंटिव कॉस्ट होती है कि मेरा डैमेज होने से पहले, मेरा नुकसान होने से पहले ही मैं कर लूं. तो अगर मैं न्यू वर्कर्स को लाके ट्रेन कर रहा हूं तो मतलब मुझे न्यू वर्कर्स लाने पड़ गए, लेबर टर्नओवर तो हो गया. अगर मैं न्यू वर्कर्स को ट्रेन कर रहा हूं, इसका मतलब भी मेरा न्यू वर्कर आ गया, मैं तो उसको ट्रेन कर रहा हूं. अब तो लेबर टर्नओवर को बचाने के लिए पहले ही मैं क्या करूंगा जो प्रिवेंटिव माना जाएगा, वो है कि मैं अपनी लेबर को गुड वर्किंग कंडीशंस प्रोवाइड करूंगा ताकि वो छोड़ के मत जाए. तो इसका आंसर मेरा ऑप्शन नंबर सी होगा. 23 का सी है जी, बी नहीं है. काफी लोग बी आंसर दे रहे हैं. अपनी एग्जिस्टिंग लेबर को अच्छी वर्किंग कंडीशंस देना, दैट इज प्रिवेंटिव कॉस्ट फॉर माय लेबर टर्नओवर. नेक्स्ट कम क्वेश्चन नंबर 24. ये करो भाई ध्यान से, ये ध्यान से करो. The per unit expense of the dash portion varies with the volume of production while dash portion remains the same with volume. John is saying C. Nilesh is saying A. I think John said C for the previous question. Now Nilesh is saying A. Let's see. The per unit expense of the dash portion varies with volume. John is saying B. Dipanshi is saying B. बहुत सिंपल क्वेश्चन है बट बहुत ट्रिकी है, काफी लोग गलत कर रहे हैं. ध्यान से पढ़ो, सिर्फ इतना पढ़ो, सिर्फ इतना पढ़ो. द पर यूनिट एक्सपेंस ऑफ द डैश पोर्शन वेरीज विद वॉल्यूम. अगर मैं बोलूं वेरिएबल, क्या वेरिएबल कॉस्ट वॉल्यूम के साथ पर यूनिट कॉस्ट चेंज होता है? अगर मैं 2 यूनिट बना रहा हूं तो वेरिएबल कॉस्ट 4 रुपए है, 3 यूनिट पे क्या होगा? 4 रुपए ही होगा ना, चेंज तो नहीं हो रहा है. द पर यूनिट एक्सपेंस ऑफ द डैश पोर्शन वेरीज विद वॉल्यूम. वेरिएबल कॉस्ट में तो पर यूनिट एक्सपेंस सेम रहता है ना, सेम रहता है. तो इसका आंसर बी नहीं है, इसका आंसर ए है. द पर यूनिट एक्सपेंस ऑफ द फिक्स्ड पोर्शन वेरीज विद वॉल्यूम. मतलब अगर मैं 100 यूनिट बना रहा हूं या 500 यूनिट बना रहा हूं तो मेरा फिक्स कॉस्ट पर वॉल्यूम, मेरा फिक्स कॉस्ट पर यूनिट, सॉरी, मेरा फिक्स कॉस्ट पर यूनिट चेंज होगा. पर यूनिट एक्सपेंस चेंजेस विद वॉल्यूम. ठीक है, तो आंसर ऑप्शन नंबर ए है. दूसरा पोर्शन पढ़ेंगे तब भी क्लियर हो जाएगा. व्हाइल डैश पोर्शन रिमेन्स द सेम विद वॉल्यूम, वेरिएबल. यहां पे ये पर यूनिट वर्ड है ना, इसको ध्यान से देखना था. ऐसे ही नंबर कटते हैं भाई, ऐसे ही नंबर कटते हैं. लगता है बहुत तैयारी है बट एग्जाम में अगर ध्यान नहीं देंगे तो नंबर कटेंगे. चलिए क्वेश्चन नंबर 25. Basis of apportionment of staff welfare cost is done on what basis? सपोज करो मेरी कंपनी है, उसमें डिफरेंट डिपार्टमेंट्स हैं. उनमें डिफरेंट लोग हैं, डिफरेंट सैलरीज है, और मैंने सबके लिए स्टाफ वेलफेयर किया, पार्टीज की, समोसे खिलाए, बहुत कुछ किया. उस पर 1 लाख रुपया खर्चा आया. अब 1 लाख को जब मुझे इसको डिवाइड करना है तो मैं किस बेसिस पे करूंगा? क्या हर डिपार्टमेंट की जो सैलरी का टोटल है उसके बेस पे डिवाइड कर दूंगा कि ये डिपार्टमेंट में 100 रुपये सैलरी है, ये में 50 है, तो इस बेसिस पे डिवाइड कर दूं? या नंबर ऑफ एम्प्लॉयज के बेस पे डिवाइड कर दूंगा कि ये डिपार्टमेंट में 100 एम्प्लॉयज हैं, इसमें 50 है, तो पर एम्प्लॉय निकालूंगा और फिर हर डिपार्टमेंट को एलोकेट कर दूंगा. मटेरियल्स कंज्यूम्ड, किसने कितने समोसे खाए, किस डिपार्टमेंट ने, उसके बेसिस पे करूंगा. नंबर ऑफ मशीनरी, हर डिपार्टमेंट में कितनी मशीनरी है उसके बेस पे करूंगा, या नन ऑफ द अबव? आप बताओ. बहुत लॉजिकल है भाई, नंबर ऑफ एम्प्लॉयज पे कर दो ना. अगर हमारा 1 लाख रुपए खर्चा हुआ है और हर डिपार्टमेंट के अगर मैं एम्प्लॉयज का टोटल कर लूं, किसी में 50 है, 25 है, मैं पर एम्प्लॉय कॉस्ट निकाल के फिर इनटू जितने एम्प्लॉयज हैं उनमें डिवाइड कर दूंगा. तो आंसर इसका ऑप्शन नंबर बी है. ठीक है, चलिए ऑप्शन नंबर क्वेश्चन नंबर 26 पे आते हैं. जल्दी कीजिए. I've asked my teammate to click my photo. It's a long time I'm taking a marathon, so I just want to show it to my kids. चलिए, आई होप मजा आ रहा है. क्वेश्चन नंबर 26 और 25 में से नंबर कैलकुलेट कर रहे हो आप. 25 में से कितने कितने नंबर आए आपके? नीलेश, उमंग, शुभम, यशिका, जॉन, उमंग, दीपांशी. An approach in which company undercosts its one of the product and overcost at least one product is classified as what? अब मेरे पास दो प्रोडक्ट है, मेरा एक प्रोडक्ट है जो बहुत चलता है, सपोज मेरी पान की दुकान है, मेरा पान है वो बहुत बिकता है, बट एक साथ में टॉफी है वो नहीं बिकती है, ठीक है। तो मैं क्या कर सकता हूं, मैं शायद टॉफी अगर मुझे 1 रुपए की पड़ती है तो मैं 90 पैसे में भी बेच दूंगा, क्योंकि मुझे लोगों को आदत डालनी है टॉफी डालने की। और पान जो मैं 5 रुपए का बेच रहा हूं, मैं इसको 5 रुपए 10 पैसे में भी बेच सकता हूं, क्योंकि एनीवेज लोगों को ये पसंद है। मैं अगर 10 पैसे बढ़ा भी दूंगा तो एवरीबॉडी वुड लाइक इट स्टिल। तो इस चीज में जब मैं एक चीज को सब्सिडाइज कर देता हूं, कम रेट पे बेच रहा हूं और उसका यहां से मैं भरपाई कर रहा हूं, इसको क्या बोलते हैं? इसको बोलते हैं प्रोडक्ट कॉस्ट क्रॉस सब्सिडाइजिंग, कि मैंने क्रॉस सब्सिडाइज कर लिया, इसको कम कर दिया, इसको ज्यादा कर दिया, प्रोडक्ट कॉस्ट सब्सिडाइजिंग। आंसर इज ऑप्शन नंबर सी। चलिए क्वेश्चन 27, आसान है ये भी। ओपनिंग इन्वेंट्री दी हुई है, क्लोजिंग दी हुई है, कॉस्ट ऑफ गोल्ड सोल्ड दी हुई है, यू हैव टू फाइंड परचेजेस। आसानी फॉर्मूला है यार इसका। ओपनिंग में मेरे पास जितना था, ठीक है, प्लस मैंने कुछ परचेज किया, और मेरे पास जो क्लोजिंग में बच गया उसको मैं माइनस करूंगा। ये मेरे पास शुरू में था, फिर मैंने ये परचेज किया और इतना बच गया मेरे पास। दिस इज इक्वल टू जो मैंने बेचा, मतलब वो मैंने कितना बेचा, 22,000, ठीक है। शुरू में मेरे पास इतना था, मैंने इतना और खरीद लिया, इतना बच गया। अगर मैं ये प्लस ये माइनस कर दूं तो जितना मैंने बेचा वो आ जाएगा, ये 22,000 है। मुझे परचेज निकालनी है, ओपनिंग कितनी है 3500, परचेज मुझे निकालनी है, दिस इज एक्स, माइनस क्लोजिंग कितनी है 1500, इज इक्वल टू 22,000। तो दिस माइनस दिस कितना हो जाएगा 2000। इसको हम इधर लेके जाएंगे तो 22,000 माइनस 2000 कितना हो जाएगा 20,000। सो जो मेरा परचेज है वो 20,000 हुआ है। तो आंसर क्या है, ऑप्शन नंबर ए। वेरी गुड यशिका, अमीशा, जॉन। यार बाकियों ने क्यों नहीं निकाला यार, ये तो आसान क्वेश्चन था। बी बी कह रहे हैं क्या लोग? बी नहीं, बी तो नहीं है। 24 के कैसे आ गया भाई? आंसर यही है ना इसका, ए है इसका आंसर, 20,000। भाई तो बहुत आसान था, क्या कर दिया आप लोगों ने? कोई डाउट है इस क्वेश्चन में तो पूछिए, इफ यू हैव एनी डाउट। दिस इज वेरी इजी, जल्दी करो भी जल्दी। उमंग, नीलेश, यार इसका बी कैसे निकाला आपने भाई? क्लियर है, मेरी एक्सप्लेनेशन क्लियर है आप लोगों को? क्या हो गया, कमेंट्स आ नहीं रहे हैं? एम आई ऑडिबल? आ रहे। ओके, साइन मिस्टेक गलती से ऐड कर दिया, ठीक है। आंसर ए है भाई इसका, ध्यान से देख लो। चलिए नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन। ये अच्छा क्वेश्चन है भाई, ये करके दिखाओ, जल्दी करो। चलो ये लास्ट क्वेश्चन है, अच्छा है। इसके बाद दो आसान क्वेश्चन है। इधर का उधर हो गया, सिलेक्शन इधर से उधर ना हो जाए मुकुंद। टोटल सेलिंग प्राइस ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट इज 25,000, कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन इज 18,000, वर्क्स कॉस्ट इज 12,000, ठीक है। डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंस बोल रहा है 0 है, वर्क्स ओवरहेड इज 5,000। बहुत कुछ दे रखा है भाई इसने, तो निकालो जरा। निकालना क्या है, डायरेक्ट लेबर निकालनी है। डायरेक्ट लेबर निकालनी है, वर्क्स कॉस्ट दे रखी है, कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन भी दे रखा है। नीलेश ने निकाल भी दिया, वाह नीलेश कैसे नहीं किया यार, क्या क्या करना है इसमें। कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन 18,000 है, इसको कैसे यूज करेंगे कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन। चलो शुरू करते हैं। डायरेक्ट मटेरियल प्लस डायरेक्ट लेबर प्लस डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंस, मुझे क्या दिया है वर्क्स कॉस्ट। वर्क्स कॉस्ट में क्या आता है मेरा, प्रोडक्शन ओवरहेड प्लस एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ओवरहेड इज इक्वल टू माय वर्क्स कॉस्ट। वर्क्स कॉस्ट कितनी है, नहीं एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ओवरहेड नहीं आएगा उसमें, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ओवरहेड नहीं आएगा क्योंकि वर्क्स कॉस्ट है, कॉस्ट ऑफ वर्क है। ये मुझे कितनी दी हुई है 12,000। तो डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंस तो जीरो है, उसने दिया है देयर इज नो डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंस। डायरेक्ट मटेरियल कितना दिया है हमें 4,000, ये 4,000 है। डायरेक्ट लेबर हमें निकालना है और प्रोडक्शन ओवरहेड कितना दिया उसने, प्रोडक्शन ओवरहेड दिया है मुझे वर्क्स ओवरहेड, मतलब वर्क्स ओवरहेड दिया है 5,000। तो यहां पे मैं क्या लिखूंगा 5,000 इक्वल टू 12,000। तो ये 5,000 प्लस 4,000 9,000, ये 9,000 इधर जाएगा तो 12,000 माइनस 9,000 एक्स मेरा डायरेक्ट लेबर 3,000। तो ये कंफ्यूज करने के लिए दिया है आपको। ये एग्जाम में ऐसा होता है कई बार एक्स्ट्रा वैल्यूज दे दी जाती हैं और वो कंफ्यूजिंग होती है। नीलेशी सिंह 12,000, क्या 12,000 नीलेश, आपने तो आंसर सही बताया था ना, डी बिल्कुल। कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन का कोई फायदा नहीं है यहाँ पे, ये डेटा रिडंडेंट है, सो कंफ्यूज नहीं होना है इसको यूज कर। ठीक है चलो जल्दी जल्दी करते हैं। चलो ये तो आसान है, विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज करेक्ट फॉर्मूला टू कैलकुलेट कॉस्ट पर यूनिट अंडर यूनिट कॉस्टिंग। यूनिट कॉस्टिंग में मुझे कॉस्ट पर यूनिट निकालनी है। मेरा टोटल खर्चा हुआ 1,00,000 रुपया, इसको मैं किससे डिवाइड करूंगा कि मुझे कॉस्ट पर यूनिट मिल जाए। भाई बहुत आसान है, मैं नंबर ऑफ यूनिट से ही डिवाइड करूंगा ना। तो मेरा नंबर ऑफ यूनिट्स से मैं डिवाइड करूंगा तो मेरा आंसर होना चाहिए ऑप्शन नंबर सी। कॉस्ट पर यूनिट वुड बी टोटल कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन डिवाइडेड बाय नंबर ऑफ यूनिट्स। आंसर इज ऑप्शन नंबर सी। चलिए नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पे चलते हैं। क्वेश्चन नंबर 30। In unit costing, the cost of materials issued for production are collected from। यूनिट कॉस्टिंग में जो मैं कॉस्ट ऑफ मटेरियल्स कलेक्ट करता हूं वो किस बेसिस पे करता हूं, कॉस्ट शीट यूज करता हूं उसके लिए, मटेरियल रिक्विजिशन नोट्स यूज करता हूं, जॉब टाइम कार्ड्स, बिन कार्ड्स, नन ऑफ द अबव। अगेन बड़े इजी क्वेश्चन है बट कई बार ट्रिकी हो जाते हैं क्वेश्चन, हमें एग्जैक्टली याद नहीं रहता क्योंकि हम ज्यादा न्यूमेरिकल्स और फॉर्मूला बेस्ड तैयारी करते हैं। यूनिट कॉस्टिंग में जो कॉस्ट ऑफ मटेरियल है जो प्रोडक्शन में यूज हुई है वो कॉस्ट हमें कहां से पता लगती है, हम वो कहां से इकट्ठी करते हैं अपनी कैलकुलेशंस के लिए। आंसर इज मटेरियल रिक्विजिशन नोट्स। तो मटेरियल रिक्विजिशन नोट्स क्या होते हैं, जब भी कोई मटेरियल खरीदा जाता है उसके लिए रिक्विजिशन बनाई जाती है, इनवॉइस होता है फिर, तो उस मटेरियल रिक्विजिशन नोट्स के बेस पे हम कॉस्ट ऑफ मटेरियल्स कैलकुलेट करते हैं। तो यहां पे मेरा आंसर होगा ऑप्शन नंबर बी। ठीक है जी, ऑप्शन नंबर बी इज द आंसर। मजा आया, मजा आया, प्रैक्टिस हुई, लगा कि हाँ तैयारी है या लगा कि तैयारी नहीं है और मेहनत करनी है। हाउ वाज दिस सेशन, गिव मी द फीडबैक because I am done with my 30 set of questions. Now Jalal sir will come and he will take over. Can you please let me know the feedback, and if you have any doubt, any question, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll just hand it over to Jalal sir. और अगर सेशन अच्छा लगा हो तो you can like it, Shubham is saying thank you very much. Thank you, Shubham. And your performance was really good. Mayank, you also. मजा आ गया यार आप लोगों ने जो आंसर दिए, because if you were not participative, this session would not have been that good. जॉन के 25 में से 30 मार्क आए. अगर किसी और ने मार्क्स कैलकुलेट किए हैं तो प्लीज लेट मी नो. 25 is very good, John. Please prepare for phase 2 after phase 1. You have a very good chance. Umang is saying very informative session. Thank you, Umang. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kanchi. Thank you, guys. It was nice talking to you all today. I was nervous at the start of this session, but I really enjoyed it. Thank you. Bye.
Hello everybody. So I hope you enjoyed the explanation given to you by Anchit sir and the explanation given to you by Kritika ma'am also. And now we will start with the concepts of commerce and accounts. Okay. So in commerce and accounts, we will do some numericals also. We will try to do some theory based questions also. Okay. So first let's start with the commerce and accounts component. And in total, there are 30 questions which we have to do today. Okay. So let's start. First question has been taken from your theory base of accounting, wherein you have to identify the concept of going concern, one of the fundamental questions of accounts. And we will be practicing on phase 1 level as well as some questions for phase 2 as well, so that if you solve phase 2 questions, you will get the much needed confidence. The question is now on your screen. You can read it. Take your time, but it should not take more than 30 seconds to solve such easy questions. Which of the following best describes the going concern assumptions in the concept of accounting? A business is assumed to continue its operation indefinitely. A business will be liquidated at the end of financial year. Assets are always recorded at their realizable or bracket mein market value. Expenses are recognized only when cash is paid. Only cash expenses will be counted and not credit expenses. So whatsoever your answer is, please let me know in the comment box now. Come on. First answer A, yes, definitely. Going concern basically means what? That you will continue your business up till whatever the God wants. Like it's like मैं continue करूँगा जब तक मेरी पूरी मेहनत हो सकती है. It's like I will never stop. You cannot say that I will do business for only 10 years. Or I will run my company only for 5 years. I will put depreciation for 5 years. These statements are not allowed in accounts, because once you start your company or once you start your business, you make sure that you will continue it for endless years. Okay, so you don't have any expiry of business. Yes, at times when you fall, when your sales is not going good, your cost is increasing, then you can take a call. But मैं पहले से सोच के ये नहीं कर सकता, right? So this is one of the basic assumption. And therefore the correct answer will be option number A only. Good. Now this is very basic. Now let's try to solve a SEBI Grade A Phase 1 2024 question. Now those who worry about, I would say what, those who worried about numericals, I don't think you can get an easy numerical from this or compared to this. If current assets are 8 lakh, current liabilities are 4,80,000, stock is 2 lakh, what is quick ratio? First of all, quick ratio is also known as asset test ratio. Asset test ratio, right? Now, if you have to identify the quick ratio, first you need to get your formula correct. So try to answer this question now. A numerical for phase 1 and SEBI Grade A phase 1 and PFRDA Grade A phase 1 happens on the same line. So therefore, if you have to solve numericals, then take the basics from SEBI Grade A phase 1 paper, that what level they can ask you in the PFRDA Grade A paper. Chalo, what will be the answer over here? Second A. Now those who know what is asset test ratio, it is also known as quick ratio. The formula is your quick assets divided by your current liabilities. Current liabilities they have directly given to you, which is 4,80,000, right? Which is 4,80,000. And if you identify your quick assets, Quick assets are those assets which are very, very quick. Like you can convert those assets into cash instantly, right? Or not instantly, or if I would say like kal parso mein hi cash convert ho jayega, right? So if you can convert your assets very quickly into cash, they will be categorized as quick assets. Quick assets is equals to current assets minus your inventory minus your prepaid expenses. Okay, I'm very sorry for my bad handwriting, but this is how it goes. So your current assets are 8 lakh. Inventory is also known as stock, right? So you have to reduce 2 lakh. You have to reduce 2 lakh from 8 lakh, which will be like 6 lakh over here, right? Solve this particular fraction, and if I'm not wrong, the answer will come as 1.25. Can you tell me what is the ideal value? What is the ideal value for quick ratio? What is the ideal value for quick ratio? Ideal means कि यार ये बहुत अच्छी value है. So what will be the ideal value for quick ratio? And you also have to let me know the ideal value for current ratio. By the way, current ratio is also important. So current assets divided by my current liabilities. Tell me what is the ideal value for quick ratio? Yes. For ideal value for quick ratio is 1:1. For current asset ratio, then it will be, for current ratio, it will be what? For current ratio, yes, 2:1 for current ratio. Very good, Nilesh. Moving forward to the next question. So answer is A over here. And your even if you get numericals, don't worry. Numericals can be easy. Now this question is a kind of a question which was asked in PFRDA Grade A Phase 1 of the year 2022, if I'm not wrong. So try to solve this particular question on your screen. Chaliye. So just solve the question and give me your right answer. A company plans to raise 21 lakh rupees in equity capital. It has already has 12,60,000 available in the internal sources. So company need is 21 lakh. It already has 12,60,000 available from the internal sources. The face value per equity share is rupees 12. This is face value, not your current market price, right? Remember this. Based on this information, how many shares needs to be issued? Now this is PFRDA Grade A Phase 1 level. So if you can solve this question, then definitely it's a very good news for all of you. Chaliye, try to solve it. And it might take some time because over here you have to do some calculations. So don't worry, I will wait for you, but you have to give me the right answer. And somebody can please confirm, is my voice okay? Because I forgot to ask you whether my voice is okay or not. 3B, 70,000 or 75 or 85. See, if you already have 12,60,000 in your internal capacity and your total ask is 21 lakh. If your total ask is 21 lakh, just deduct 12,60,000 out of it, and whatever the number will come, that you have to divide by 12. So this is the calculation which you have to do. I will again write it for your own convenience. Just give me a minute. It will be 21 lakh minus, right, minus 12,60,000 divided by 12, because this is your requirement. This you already have. This is the face value per share. So definitely your answer will come out as what? It will come out as, you have to solve this. Come on, try to solve it. And definitely if you solve it, then your answer will come out as B. You just have to solve this fraction. 21 lakh minus 12,60,000 divided by 12. Once you do it, your answer will come out as 70,000. As simple as that. Okay. Moving forward to the next question. This is SEBI Grade A Phase 2 2024. So कौन कहता है in Phase 2 there are only tough questions asked? Try to solve this question of your, I would say, SEBI Grade A Phase 2 2024. Now, if you see this particular question, it looks halwa to me. It's not that much tough, but the concept should be very, very clear, that you calculate your discounts, premiums, dividends on which particular price? Face value or on current market price? Please let me know your answers in the comment box. Speed. Let's maintain the speed. If the face value of a share is 10 and you are about to issue 1 lakh shares at a premium of 10%, what will be the amount transferred to securities premium reserve? Simple. You just have to take 10% of 10, which will come out as 1, right? Which will come out as 1. And if you are issuing 1 lakh shares, 1 lakh share will be issued at premium of ₹1. So you will be transferring 1 lakh rupees only, right? This will be your, I would say, what? A basic question which just checks your concept. What is the concept over here, my friends? What will be the concept over here? That you have to calculate the premium on face value and then multiply. So according to me, what should be the answer? Some are saying A, some are saying B, some are saying C and D. The correct answer will be option number A, obviously. The question is clearly asking you what? The question is clearly asking you that what amount will be transferred to security premium reserve account. Over here, you will transfer the money of premium, right? Over here, you will transfer the money of premium, and the premium which you are receiving is 1 per share, but you are issuing 1 lakh shares. So total premium will be 1 lakh, right? As simple as that. Why 1,10,000? Or why anything like why you are going with B, C, D and E? The correct will be option number A only. Very easy. This was not tough according to me. Question number 5. I hope this image is getting cleared and not getting blurred. Basically, this image is telling you that you have a opening stock units are 100, rate of the 100 units is 50. Then you have purchases of 50 units, rate over here is 40. And if you see the issue is basically of 125 units only. So again, if I rewrite this particular image, if I rewrite for you, opening stock means you have 100 units, each unit is of 50. In the year, you make some purchases for 50 units, the per unit cost is 40. But if you issue 125 units, now you have to calculate the closing stock using FIFO method. FIFO stands for what? First in, first out. FIFO stands for what? First in, first out. So try to solve this. This is again your phase 2 level, or they can ask you in phase 1 as well. Nobody knows what they will ask. But I still think this question is doable. You should not skip certain easy questions like this. Chaliye, try to answer it. If you are issuing 125 units, according to FIFO, FIFO means what? जो पहले आया है वो पहले बाहर जाएगा. Simple. First in, first out. So first you have got 100 units. So from this 125, 100 units will be used. Then you are still left with 25. So 25 units will be used. So if you see from your purchases, only 25 units were used, but 25 are still left, isn't it? 25 units are still left. And if you see the cost of 1 unit is 40. So what will be the cost of 25 into 40 is 1000. Yes, 25 into 4 is 100 plus 1 extra 0. So your answer should come out as B. Your answer should come out as B. I hope only 2 students have given me the right answer, Kanchi and Nilesh. What about others? Are you over here to see my face? Simple question. If 125 units have been issued, first issued unit will be of 100 units, and then 25 units from this batch of 50 will also be issued, right? So 25 units are still left. 25 into 40 will give you answer as 1000. Simple. Now let's move forward again. So answer will be 1000, which is option number B, which we have already done. Now try to solve this question. This is also easy. You just have to can PFRDA Grade A be postponed? Do you have any news about it? No, the exam will not get postponed at any cost. The chances of getting it postponed is just 0.1%. Now it depends upon you whether you want to give it now or later. But study right now. Don't think about such news. I know the weather around us is not that much comfortable because of all the rains and all that stuff. But try to reach your center one day before if it is very far. But if it is very close in your area, then you can reach 1 hour before. Okay. So plan and do not just miss your paper. Chaliye ji. Question number 6. A company has 80,000 units of inventory at the end of financial year. So this basically is my closing stock, right? The actual cost per unit is 1.20 while the net realizable value per unit is 1.05. So actual cost as per the market analysis is 1.20 while the realizable value is 1.05. As per the principle of prudence, what should be the total value of closing stock? Simple C. Either your 80,000 will be valued at 1.20 or either it will be valued at 1.05. 1.05 पे वैल्यू होगा या 1.20 पे वैल्यू होगा. Simple. As per the concept of prudence, you always have to take the lower of your actual cost or your net realizable value. This principle basically says that you do not have to do any overstating. You do not have to do any overstating. आपको ज्यादा दिखाने की कोशिश नहीं करनी. You have to play safe and you have to give the real numbers. So what I have to do is I have to take the lower of 1.05 and 1.20. The lower will be 1.05. So you just have to multiply. You just have to multiply 80,000 into 1.05. And once you do it, what will be your answer, my friends? 120. Okay, 120 तो है ही नहीं ऑप्शन में, right? What will be your answer? 96. You just have to do the multiplication, and once you do it, your answer will come out as 1,02,000. 1,02,000. So this will be the correct answer, and if you see the option C is correct over here. Okay, so you can do the multiplication and everything else. I am getting 84,000 as cost and whichever is lower. 84,000. If you see NRV is lower, so 80,000 into 1.05. You just have to multiply, right? Simple. Right. Let's move ahead to question number 7. Let's move ahead to question number 7. Let's move ahead to question number 7, but even I think over here there is some mistake. Actual cost per unit is 1.20. Net realizable is 1.05. So definitely if you multiply 80,000 into 1.05, how the hell you will get 1.02? So I think there is some typing mistake, but don't worry. If you do 80,000 into 1.05, then yes, one student is correct. It should be 84,000 something. So if I read it again just for the last time, yes, there is some typing mistake or something like this. So we have to take this as 84,000. Okay, don't worry, certain times typing mistakes do happen. Not an issue. Let's move ahead. Question number 7 now. Question number 7. Question number 7. I apologize for that particular mistake. But even when I did calculations on my phone, I was not able to get the right answer, so I made the amend. Ind AS 18 is related to the revenue recognition dealing with what? Ind AS 18 deals with the revenue recognition dealing with what? See, Ind AS 17 deals with your revenue recognition of hire purchase. Ind AS 115 deals with the contracts, the revenue which you get from contracts. What will be the correct answer? Yes, Ind AS 18 deals with the revenue arising from the interest, royalty and dividend. So if you see for Ind AS 17 you have hire purchase, for your contracts revenue you have 115. Do remember this, and therefore the correct answer will be D. Ind AS 17 deals with your hire purchase, and if you see for 115 you have your revenue coming from the contracts. Now let's move to the 8th one. 8th one. Yes, 84,000 is uska answer. The question which we have just there was a typing mistake, just leave it. Okay, the answer will be 84, not 1,02,000. Chalo, question number 8. Question number 8. If total assets are 36, liabilities are 16, what will be the amount of equity? Now this is basic balance sheet equation. Assets is equals to liabilities plus capital, right? Or assets is equals to liabilities plus your, I would say, capital again, right? So try to solve it. Total assets are 36, liabilities are 16. So you just have to deduct 36. You have to deduct 16 from 36. So answer will come out as 20,000. Therefore, the correct answer is option number A. The correct answer is option number A. I again want to give a clarification before I move ahead. In this question, you just have to take the lower of your two values, which was 1.05. 1.05 multiplied by 80 will come out as 84 and not 1,02,000. So there is a mistake in question number 6, for which I apologize. To err is human, to make a mistake is human. So I hope you let me live with this mistake, right? We have solved 8-1, right? We have done this 20,000 also. Now let's move ahead to the next question, which is question number 9. Now this is your phase 1 level question, okay, not phase 2. This is your phase 1. Which of the following is not a current asset? Current asset is basically that particular asset which can be converted into cash within next 1 year. Next question, my friends. Next question. Try to answer it with full confidence. In certain questions, you need to save your time and try to move ahead quickly. चलिए बताइए, question number 9D. Yes, cash in hand is definitely your current asset. Account receivables or your bills receivable is again your current asset. Inventory stock definitely is your current asset. Prepaid expenses too. But goodwill is never your current asset. Rather, it's an intangible asset which you have for long term, right? So next question, my friends, question number, I would say what? 10. Next question, question number 10. Which of the following correctly explains the difference between depreciation and amortization? Which of the following basically explains you the difference between depreciation and amortization? Chalo. Try to answer this question now. Try to answer this question. Question number, I would say 10. Which of the following correctly explains the difference between depreciation and amortization? See, both will reduce your value of assets. Depreciation also reduces the value. Amortization also reduces the value. The basic difference is depreciation is applied on tangible assets, whereas amortization is applied on intangible assets. So depreciation is charged on tangible while amortization is charged on intangible. Yes, the answer will be option number A over here. Why to read the next statements once you're right? Once you're right, option is option number A. Question number 11. I again hope the picture is very much clear to you. Question number 11. XYZ Limited has the following details. Net profit after tax, which is your PAT or your total net profit, is given to you as 8 lakhs. Number of equity shares issued is 1 lakh. Market price per share is rupees 40. Try to calculate PE ratio. PE ratio is what? PE ratio is your price divided by EPS. Price is directly given to you as 40, right? So your price will be 40, but you have to calculate your EPS first. Earning per share you have to calculate. You have to calculate earning per share. Earning per share is equals to what? PAT, your net profit minus preference dividend divided by your number of equity shares, right? So if I calculate EPS, EPS will be what? PAT minus preference dividend, which is not given over here, divided by number of equity shares, right? So PAT is given to you as 8 lakh. 8 lakh divided by number of equity shares, which is 1 lakh. 8 divided 1 will come out as 8 only. Now substitute the EPS into the PE ratio. So your answer will come out as 5. 40 divided by 8, right? 8 5s are 40. So your answer will come out as 5 for this particular question, which is option number B. अगर EPS पूछा होता, then your answer would come out as 8. अगर EPS पूछा होता, then your answer would have been 8. But in this question, they are asking you P ratio. P ratio will come out as 5 only. I hope you would have got the same answer as mine. 11C. C, they are asking you P ratio, right? So it will be B only. 40/8 करना है 5. अब इसमें तो मेरे हिसाब से कोई मिस्टेक नहीं हुई है. नेट प्रॉफिट भी हमने लिया है. Yes, it will be 5 only, right? Why 8? If in the question they would have asked calculate EPS, then your answer would have been 8. But क्या वो क्वेश्चन में EPS पूछ रहे? No, they are asking you price to equity. So your answer will be option number 8. This ratio is very, very important when it comes to valuation of your shares. People study these ratios so that they can calculate that whether the share price is overvalued or not. Now, PFRDA Grade A Phase 2 2021. PFRDA Grade A Phase 2 2021. Again, what you have to do is you have to calculate the current ratio. I hope the image is very, very clear. Current ratio is what? Your current assets divided by your current liabilities. Chalo, try to answer it now. Try to answer it now. Current ratio. Now, if I tell you that how you should solve it, first read the question and identify the ratio which you have to solve. Then write the formula, current assets by current liability. And always start by numerator by calculating their value. Current assets definitely I will not find in liabilities. I will find in assets only. Is plant and machinery a current asset? No. Furniture current asset hota hai? No. Land and building is a current asset? Again, no. Is sundry debtor a current asset? Yes. Cash in hand is also a current asset. Inventory is also an asset. So you have 20 plus 10 plus 1, 31 lakh. 31 lakh, right? Yes, 20 plus 10 plus 1, 31 lakh will go in your, I would say what, numerator. Now search for denominator, which is current liability. Current liabilities ke liye you have to come on this side. Is share capital a liability? Yes, but is it a current liability? No. Sundry creditors will definitely be my current liability. So it will be 460. So I'm writing 460 over here because my mathematics is very, very poor. 12% of bank loan, 5 lakh. This will also not come because bank loan is long term. Bank overdraft, 8% debentures, deferred tax liability. Deferred tax liability is again long term. Debentures are kind of bonds only, which are again long term. So I will not take them. Bank overdraft I have to take. And bank overdraft in this case is 550. So you have to add 550. So it will be 0, 1, and this will be 9 and 10, right? So it will be 31 lakh divided by 10 lakh, 10,000. अब इसको आप solve कर लेना. Your answer should be somewhere around, I would say what, 1.66, because ये तो सीधा वैसे ही जा रहा है. But you have to solve this. But I have given you the total value of numerator and denominator as well. Once you try to solve it, you will get your answer. Come on. Give me the correct answer. I'm waiting for your answers. Please give me the right answer. All of you. What will be the right answer? Please give me in the comment box. 3.07 aa raha hai, not 1.66. So let me check. Yes, option B is correct. Okay, once you solve it, your answer will come out as 3.07. And the same thing, agar aap wo numerator denominator solve kar lete, to you would have got this answer only. See, 31 lakh divided by 10 lakh, 10,000. So your answer is coming out 3.07 something. So this is a very good company which has a good healthy current ratio, because ideal should be 2:1, right? Iska to 3:1 se bhi upar ja raha hai halka sa. So definitely this is a good company which you can invest, but it's an imaginary question. Let's move forward to question number 13 now. PFRDA Grade A Phase 2 2021. So this question has appeared in PFRDA Grade A Phase 2 2021. Based on the above information, you are required to calculate ROCE. ROCE stands for what? Return on capital employed. Return on capital employed. Now try to solve it. Return on capital employed. First, you try to identify the formula. EBIT, earning before interest and taxes, divided by your capital employed. Simple. Now, will you take equity capital, debt capital, or will you take the addition of both? That is what the question over here is. If you see EBIT is 90,000. So your EBIT becomes 90,000, right? Equity capital, long-term debentures, and preference share capital. Equity and preference is basically they are giving you ownership. So it will be categorized into your equities only. Long-term debentures are basically your debt. So you have to add both equity, preference, and long. You have to add these three. Come on. Tell me the correct answer which you all are getting right now. And now I will wait, because if I keep on solving, then how the hell you will get your practice? Chaliye, please tell me the right answer. Please tell me the right answer. What is your right answer? Yes, Kanchi is giving me as A, 13th A. What about Nilesh? What about Mukund and John and V? Yes, your EBIT is directly given to you as 90,000. If you add all of this, 5 plus 6 is 11. 11 plus 2 is 13, right? So 13 lakh. Now, the question, you are required to calculate ROCE. So definitely if you solve it, if you solve this fraction, multiply the value into 100 also, right? So if I go ahead and if I see my calculations, then I will reveal the answer. The answer is coming out as A, 5 plus 6 plus 2, right? 5 plus 6 plus 2 divided by 13. So 90 divided by 13 is 6.92 approx. So your answer will be coming at option number A over here. Simple. Okay. Calculation part, I hope you can do it. 6.7. 6.7 आपको कहाँ दिख रहा है? 6.7 आपको कहाँ दिख रहा है? Name of the student. अच्छा शायद डिलीट कर दिया आपने, कोई नहीं. Let's move forward to question number 14. I hope the question is visible. When the shares of the company of a face value 13 are offered in rights issue at a value of 39. So this is your face value, okay, and they are being offered under the right value of 39. So basically you are overcharging the money from the people who will be participating in the right issue. Right issue first is done to whom? Existing shareholders or to the new shareholders? Please answer this question also. Rights issue is done to whom? Existing shareholders or to the new shareholders also? Where do you do rights issue first? And yes, if you have the answer, then please tell me. When the shares of the company of the face value 13 are being offered at the right issue of 39, which of the following will increase? Definitely share capital will increase because you will get the money. Cash will also increase and you are issuing the shares at premium. So your share premium reserve account will also increase. So the correct answer is option number D over here, all of the above. The correct answer will be option number D. Yes. And you issue right shares to the existing shareholders first. Okay, because their right comes in because they are the existing shareholders, right? So you have to give them the first priority in the rights issue. And all the three will increase: share capital, cash, and share premium as well. Okay, because you will be getting cash and that cash will be shown under share capital. And if you see share premium is the premium which you will receive. The explanation is given to you, which you can read once you get the PDF. Right? The next question on your screen now. PFRDA Grade A Phase 2 2021. PFRDA Grade A Phase 2. ये Phase 2 के questions है, which I think they can ask in Phase 1 also, because this question is easy. This question is easy. So try to solve it now. Calculate the average age of receivables from the following data. Credit sale is your 7 lakh 20, not 7 lakh 20, it's 72 lakh. It's 72 lakh. Average account receivable is 12 lakhs. So first you have to calculate what? To calculate average age of receivable. Average age of receivable basically means that in how much time you get your money from your people who are about to pay you. Basically, how much time does it take to get the money back from your debtors? So basically, you first have to calculate debtor turnover ratio over here. Once you calculate your debtor turnover ratio, then you have to divide. 360 by your DTR. Right? So debtor turnover ratio is credit sales divided by the average accounts receivable. So 72 divided by 12 will come out as 6, right? 360 divided by 6 will give your answer as 60 days. So option number A is correct over here. This time even I can do the calculation. So it was very easy, I think. Okay, your concept should be clear. Then definitely questions will look easy for you. So calculate data turnover ratio and all that stuff is given. And yes, why we do not take 365? Simply because we have to make our calculation easy. So in accounts, it is considered 1 year it will have 360 days. 1 year will have 360 days and not 365. Moving forward to question number 16, a very basic numerical kind of question which you now have to answer. Bookkeeping is what? A wider concept than accounting, a narrower concept than accounting, same as accounting, or is it not related to accounting? See, those who will choose option number D, for them, they have not covered the very first chapter, which is chapter number 1. So try to solve this question. 16, I am asking the question for 16. Definitely the answer will be B, because if you see, bookkeeping is the part of accounting. So accounting definitely is more broader, right? Bookkeeping is a part of it. So definitely bookkeeping is a narrower concept. In accounting, you also have comparing the accounts, right? So there are multiple things which goes into accounting. Moving forward to the next question, question number 17. So this is also kind of an easy question to do. This is also an easy question to answer. This is also an easy question. Dash is the process of grouping the transaction of one nature at one place in a separate account. Please tell me the answer of it. All these easy questions have been taken from your chapter 1 and 2 of accounts. Recording means what? That you are making your journal entry or a ledger entry. Summarizing means what? That you are giving a kind of a balance sheet or a P&L which will help you to understand the business position in a very quick period of time. Interpretation means that you are doing some ratio analysis, trying to find out that whether that business is good or not. Classifying is the correct answer, so your option will be B. Classifying is the process of grouping the transactions of one nature at one place in a separate account, right? So you keep different transactions in one account so that your study becomes easy, right? Moving forward to the next question, which is your, I would say, question number 18. Moving forward to question number 18. During the period of inflation, the figure of net profit as depicted by profit and loss account may not be accurate because of which particular principle? During the periods of inflation, the figure of net profit as depicted by the profit and loss account may not be accurate because of what? Matching principle, historical principle, principle of prudence, dual expect, or none of the above. The matching principle says that you have to match the income and expenses of 1 year in that particular year itself. Historical principle is the correct answer because sometimes accounting says that you have to record the asset at a historical cost. So when inflation is happening, prices are increasing, but still you are maintaining your accounts at historic cost, definitely your P&L will give you wrong information then. Okay. Principle of prudence basically says that you have to play safe. Do not try to overestimate. Principle of prudence is also known as principle of conservatism. Dual expect principle basically tells you what? That every account will have a debit, every account will have a credit. So each and every transaction will impact two accounts. That is what your dual expect principle tells you. Now let's move ahead to the next question, which is question number 19. Question number 19. Question number 19. What will be the impact of following transactions on accounting equation? Cash withdrawn by proprietor. Accounting equation is what? Assets is equals to liabilities plus capital. Okay, assets is equals to liabilities plus capital. So prudence hona chahiye. Now we take lower values into account. Let me go back to check it. During the period of inflation, the figure of net profit. Now see, they have clearly mentioned during the period of inflation. Prudence generally is of safe, like you have to play safe. You do not have to overestimate the things, right? And mind you, you have to look for the correct words also, right? So यहाँ पे historical भी गलत नहीं है. आपके लॉजिक से प्रूडेंस भी गलत नहीं है, बट इफ यू सी द करेक्ट मीनिंग ऑफ प्रूडेंस इज ऑल अबाउट प्लेइंग सेफ एंड नॉट ओवर एस्टिमेटिंग योर बिजनेस. सो डेफिनेटली द करेक्ट आंसर विल बी हिस्टोरिकल ओनली. एंड प्रूडेंस तब होता जब बिजनेस में सब लिखा होता दैट यू आर टेकिंग द लोअर ऑफ द कॉस्ट एंड यू आर मेंटेनिंग दैट your business does not have overestimation of expenses and overestimation of your incomes also. Moving ahead to question number 19 now. So uska answer historical cost hi hoga, Mukund, right? 19. What will be the impact on transaction of accounting equation? Cash is an asset, so your asset will definitely fall. Withdrawn by proprietor. Proprietor is the owner, so your capital will also fall, right? Your capital will also fall. So option B is correct. Decrease in assets and decrease in capital. Okay. So option B is correct over here. Decrease in assets, decrease in liabilities. But yes, if you see, capital is also a liability. Capital is also a liability for a business. But as per accounting equation, only capital is getting affected, not liability. So answer will be B only. Let's move ahead to the next question. These are easy questions which you should do under less than 1 minute at max. Use of common unit. Use of common unit. Use of common unit of measurement and common format of reporting promotes what? Comparability, understandability, relevance, reliability. Please tell me the right answer. Common unit means that today even Reliance is maintaining their account in rupees. Right? RBI balance sheet is also maintained in rupees. My father also maintained his balance sheet in rupees. So why everybody is maintaining their balance sheet P&L in rupees? Because it promotes what? It promotes comparability. I can compare different businesses. Okay, and I can evaluate that which business is doing good. Simple. Yes. Question number 21 now. Question number 21. Which of the following will not be shown as the application of fund while preparing fund flow statement? This is a very good question, by the way. Looks easy, but this is tough. You should know that what is the fund flow statement. You should first know that what is the fund flow statement. What is the fund flow statement? In fund flow, you have application of your money, wherein you are using it, and the sources of money, कि आपका पैसा कहां से आ रहा है. So if you see redemption of preference, और यहाँ पे आपको पूछा गया which of the following is not shown. Okay, so some items will be shown and you have to identify which one is not shown. Redemption of preference share capital. So for this you will be using money. So this is definitely my I would say what application that मैंने पैसा यहाँ use किया है. Repayment of long-term loan is again application. Buyback of equity share के लिए again I will be using the money. So if you are confused between A and D, and then try to answer it. Amisha is going towards D. Nilesh is going towards D. Anybody else? Mayank is going towards A. Now see, if you are losing your money, it basically means that is going out. So again, it's your application. So the correct answer will be option number D over here, which is decrease in working capital. Now, just those who don't know what working capital is your current assets minus current liabilities. So if you see and if you notice certain transactions, a decrease in working capital will rather give you the money. A decrease in working capital is a source of money, not application of money. Therefore, the correct answer will be option number D over here. Okay. Just try to make some cases, you will understand it. Question number 22, a very famous question related to gross profit. Related to gross profit. सबसे पहले you should know that what gross profit is. Gross profit is equals to your sales minus your COGS. So first you have to identify the COGS in this case. Sales तो उन्हें सीधा दे रखी है. So sales will be 1 lakh, right? Sales will be 1 lakh. But you have to identify the COGS. Cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold का अलग से formula होता है, right? So calculate COGS with me. COGS is your opening stock plus purchases plus your direct expenses minus your closing stock, right? So your purchases is given to you as 60,000. Okay. And wages to be charged to trading account. So it's a direct wages, it's a direct cost. So you have 60,000 of purchases and 7,000 as direct expenses minus the value of closing stock, which is 3,000. And they have nothing, they have not given anything related to opening stock, right? If I'm not wrong, they have not given to opening stock. So 6 plus 7 minus 3,000. This will be your COGS. Chalo, try to answer the question which has now become very easy for all of us. Bataiye answer. So from this 60 plus 7 is 67 minus 3, right? It will be your 64. So your 64,000 is nothing, it is your COGS. So 1 lakh minus COGS of 64,000, right? So you will get your answer is what? You will get your answer is what? Please tell me in the comment box. Please tell me in the comment box. Simple, 36, right? इसको ही solve करना था बस आपको. So this is how even a tough question can look easy in phase 2 and in your phase 1 as well. Question number 3 is a statement based questions. If statements are not visible, I will repeat for you. Statement number 1 says, call in arrears means the amount not received by company. I repeat, call in arrears means the amount not received by company. Call in advances are shown on equities and liabilities part of the balance sheet. I repeat, call in advances is shown in the equity and liabilities part of balance sheet. A company raises its capital by the issue of shares. Now you have to identify the incorrect one. Galat wala statement kaun sa hai, that you have to identify. Chaliye, try to identify the incorrect one now. Question is very, very clear and straightforward. See, statement number 3 is correct because company raises its capital by issue of shares. But if they write company raises its issue only by issue of shares, then it will be incorrect. But only is not written. So third one is correct. Call in advances is shown in equity. Yes, because this is related to your share capital. Call in arrears is basically the money which you have not received. Therefore, you have transferred it in call in arrears. So all the 3 statements are correct. So there is no statement which is incorrect. So option A eliminates, B eliminates, C eliminates, D also eliminates. Therefore, your answer will be option number E because all the statements are correct over here. Therefore, the answer will be option number E. Good, all of you. Now let's move forward to next question, question number 24. Which of the following will have the first right to recover the funds in the case of winding up of the company? If a company is saying bye-bye, we are not able to operate anymore, then which of the following will have the first right to receive their funds in the case of winding up of the company? So if company closes up, then definitely your debt will be paid first, then preference capital will be paid first, and then your equity will be paid at the latest or at the last stage, I mean. Okay, equity is at last, so it cannot be your answer. Preference again cannot be your answer because you have debenture holders. Debenture and your bonds are a classic example of debt. Debentures and your bonds are a classic example of your debt. Therefore, debt holders will get the first priority in the terms of repayment. I hope you would have got it correct also. So answer will be option number B. Moving forward, refusal by the acceptor to pay the bill on maturity date is called as what? Refusal by the acceptor. Tell me, acceptor is drawer or drawee? Tell me, acceptor is drawer or drawee? Acceptor will be whom? Drawer or drawee? Please let me know your answers in the chat box. Refusal by the acceptor to pay the bill on maturity date is called as what? Drawer or drawee? Yes, drawee, because drawee accepts, drawer makes the bill. This basically is known as what? Dishonorment of the bill. Rebate is in the case of discount. Rebate is in the bill. Discount. Discounting of bill is like you are going to the bank and taking the money. Right? So the answer will be option number A over here. Very basic. Yes, 26. The world famous question related to trial balance. A world famous question related to trial balance. If trial balance does not tally with even after many efforts, then which of the following account is opened? Purchase, suspense, sales, inventory. Simple. Such questions should not take more than 15 seconds if you have studied the chapter of trial balance. 26B, very good Nilesh. The answer will be suspense account. Suspense account is basically कि आपने बहुत मेहनत कर ली है, but still there is a difference in trial balance between debit and credit. So you transfer the balance in, I would say what? Suspense account. One more question related to different type of reserves. Dash are free reserves which can be used for anything. Dash are free reserves which can be used for anything. Capital, specific, revenue, journal, or none of the above. See, revenue and capital reserves are basically used for your capital revenue and your, I would say, your capital expenditure and your revenue expenditure, right? Specific reserves are maintained for some specific reason. So therefore, your answer will be journal reserve, which can be used for multiple other free purposes. Therefore, it is also known as free reserve. It does not have any kind of obligation. Now, I hope you would have also got the correct answer. These questions should not take time, my friends. So even if I'm moving fast, it is good for you. Question number 28. As per the accounting rules of debit and credit, which of the following should be debited? So this is as per the golden rules of accounting. For your real assets, for your real account, remember, debit the assets, credit the liabilities. For your nominal account, debit your losses, credit your incomes. And for your personal account, debit the giver, credit the giver. Debit the giver, credit the person who is receiving your money. Chaliye, question number 28. Which of the following will be debited? An increase in asset. If you are purchasing machine, let's say, and you have purchased machine in cash. So machine account debited, right? To cash, journal entries. So if you see an increase in asset will always be debited. So answer will be option number A only. Then why the hell we have to go and read others? A decrease in asset will be credited. Okay, because it is reducing the balance of asset. An increase in liability will be credited because money is coming inside your business. An increase in capital. Okay, capital is a liability only. So the same logic can be used. So answer will be option number A over here. Good. Now let's move ahead to the next question. This is also a good one, by the way. Which theory of depreciation is based on the idea that assets should be written off according to the usage or output rather than just passage of time? Which theory of depreciation is based on the idea that assets should be written off according to their usage or output rather than just passage of time? Straight line, written down, machine hours or unit of method, sinking fund method. Sinking fund तो कुछ नहीं होता यहाँ पे, right? Sinking fund you create for future contingencies. So either A, B, C. E you also have to eliminate. चलिए बताइए 29B. See, straight line, written down, they are different methods, but it, like in straight line, your depreciation remain fixed. In written down, the value of depreciation keeps on reducing, right? So try to answer this question. Very good. The correct answer will be option number C, because under option number A and B, if you see A and B, they generally say that depreciation is applied on the duration of an asset. Just the way is different. In your straight line, the value of depreciation always remains the same. But in written down, once you move ahead towards the last year of your machine, the value of depreciation keeps on decreasing, right? But under machine and units of production method, you focus on what? On the usage and on the output. If your output increases, then definitely machine is getting depreciated even in the very first year. If you increase the output, definitely your machine will depreciate. So the correct answer will be option number C. Moving ahead to the last question of the day, try to answer this question, which is based on the PYQ of PFRDA. Chaliye, a firm XYZ and company made a credit sale of 10,000 and by March they have received only 7,000 with 3,000 still receivable. So I have made a sale of 10,000, right? but by the end of financial year, I have only received 7,000. 3,000 is still due. How much revenue would you recognize in the books of accounts for the year ended 31st March 2021? So will you recognize 7,000? Will you recognize 3,000? Or will you recognize full 10,000? What will be your answer? What will be your answer? बताइए. I need full participation now because this is your last question of the day. Yes, it will be 10,000. Why? Because as per the concept of accrual, you try to recognize the event, not when the money is coming. So in this particular case, if you see you're making a credit sale of 10,000, so event is completed. Now money which you have received 7,000, that will be adjusted. But if you see, the sale will be recognized in the book of accounts as 10,000 only. And this is a very famous concept which goes by the name, which is known by the name of accrual concept, right? Simple. So this was the correct answer, which was option number C. Now that completes all the questions. Mind you, till now we have completed only 3 subjects of your paper 2. We have completed only 3 subjects: economics, costing and accounts. Tomorrow we will again meet to cover for some more subjects: finance, management, companies act and pension. For paper 1, we are again introducing one GA marathon for all those people who were demanding it. Okay, so GA ke liye we are doing a separate marathon on 4th of August. 3rd August, which is tomorrow, we will do again 100 MCQs from the 4 components. Thank you very much. And yes, if you want to buy any of the courses from EduTap, currently we have a huge discount up to 80%. You can see the discount codes on your screen. And if you notice, this particular sale is only valid up to the midnight of 3rd September 2025. So you can go on our website to see the courses which we have. So thank you so much for attending the overall, I would say, marathon. And yes, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and you will get the PDF of this class free on our Telegram channel. If you want to join Telegram channel, the link is given in the description box below. So that completes our overall marathon. I hope you enjoyed it. The teachers are doing as much as they can. If you have any doubt, then I will wait for just 5 to 10 more minutes and then I will wind it up. Otherwise, if there is no need, then I will wind it up straight fully. But I hope आपको marathon बहुत अच्छा लगा हो and now your revision is taken care of with EduTap. Can I get a good feedback in the comment box? Were you happy today? All of you? Was the marathon good? Shubham, Karan, Afsana, Amisha, Nilesh, John, Amrendra. Was the marathon good? Was it or was it not? Please let me know in the comment box. Right. So I think half of the people have left the chat. So let's end this particular session now. Keep